Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Mountain Man Monday, the show finale. Today is episode 110, and the date is April the 11th, 2022. I want to welcome everyone that's able to join me live here this evening, and also anybody that might be listening on delay. Again, this live stream and all past episodes are available on the Mr. Mountain Man YouTube channel under the live stream playlist. And that's right. If you weren't here last week or didn't hear the announcement, this is the end of an era for Mountain Man Monday live streams. We have enjoyed this thoroughly and our time together. But episode number 110, a full 110 fantastic episodes, it is coming into an end. Not the channel itself, nor the content, just this format of live streams. And so we'll spend a good amount of time together tonight, reminisce, have fun, do our typical thing that we do here on the Mountain Man Monday live stream and enjoy this one, albeit the last one. Again, episode number 110. If you might wonder, why am I wearing this hat? Well, this is the hat that I have in my avatar. So if you've ever seen it where I'm kind of like looking like this, or it's at the end of some of the videos, this hat I got years ago. A little fun fact about this hat. This hat was purchased at the gift shop in Gatlinburg, where the tram that goes up to Ober-Gatlinburg, you know how you go in and there's like the moccasin shop and there's the model, and it's where you purchase your tickets if you're going to take the tram instead of driving up to Ober-Gatlinburg. Ober-Gatlinburg has a gift shop there, and I bought a few items over time. This was on sale. It was just, on like the shelf, and I bought it. And that particular picture was on vacation at a cabin that was up Ski Mountain Road toward the actually it was really cool cabin. It was looking at the very top of where the mountain coaster for Ober-Gatlinburg is. So if you've ever ridden that ride, which I have, you escalate up the mountain, like the ride pulls you up the mountain. The very top, there's an attendant right before you're let loose, and you kind of coast down the mountain. Right behind that line of hedge, natural growth, there is a cabin. There's a couple of cabins. One of those cabins right there was the one we stayed in. So that particular time, I was just taking a picture. I was kind of being goofy, and I was like this. And that's the picture that's at the end. If you notice, if you look in that picture, there's like a refrigerator, and the background was the family room. So it's kind of I just put this hat on as kind of a throwback to the original days. I might switch here in a little bit to the old Steelers cap. But anyway, just wanted to give you a little background on where this hat came from and where I got it. You might notice that I'm drinking a tea. Bear with me, and I'm crossing my fingers. I got some like grunge in like respiratory. I'm not real susceptible to allergies. But I never have had a problem. I can mow grass. I can dust pollen off the cars and stuff. I just figure the time of the year, but it might be a cold. Something had been running through the house, and so I got like this congestion, like sneezing a lot. And so anyway, it just kind of started this afternoon. But I got a nice tea here. You don't normally see me drinking that. I probably have like this water here or something like that. But anywho, glad to have everybody here. Let me say hello to some folks. Who's here? It looks like Larry was first in the gate. Happy Mountain Man Monday, everyone. To you as well, Larry. Wonderful to have you here. Got to have all the regulars. Ted and Deborah Harrison. Hiya, Larry. Well, hey, saying hi to Larry. I'm going to say hi to Ted and Deborah Harrison. Hope you're having a great start to your week and a nice Monday. Foxy Wolf is here. Western North Carolina is losing a fantastic advocate tonight. You will be missed. And here is hoping to do many impromptu live streams from fun locations. Boom, boom, boom. Go and enjoy those kids and that family of yours. Yes, absolutely. I appreciate it. Foxy is a regular, a long-time regular. God, which side am I going on here? We'll get the pose in there one more time with the Mountain Man hammer. Tried to make a thumbnail with it before. I think it came out all right. But yeah, I appreciate that. And, Western North Carolina speaks for itself for sure. Just, as people funnel in and out, and some might wonder what the title was on there. But yes, this is the Mountain Man Monday. I kind of always presented it like a show with the format, and this is the final one in that series. The channel's not going away. I just won't be doing the weekly live streams in lieu of how incredibly full life is at this stage. Again, kind of templated after other travel channels. I set a foot on that same trajectory, and I have to reevaluate and see what's working, what's not with my second YouTube channel, The Eclectic Candyman, and how much time I allocate for hobbies versus family versus professional versus, all that kind of stuff. Mountain Man Monday, it's been a great run. It does take quite a bit of time to put these together and to make it quality. But not to remove anything from that, I have thoroughly enjoyed this and the interaction and the people I've gotten to know on the channel. So when I see the comments, whether it's here on Mr. Mountain Man or over on the Eclectic Candyman, people like Rita Foxy, AZ Rock, Larry, some of the people that watch the videos on here are the first to watch it on my other channel. And I just think it's fantastic. So again, lots of thank yous throughout the night. I plan on going at least a couple of hours. I want to enjoy this last episode with you all, so we'll have plenty of time. Some people may have missed that. It was kind of in the middle of last week's episode. I didn't really announce it otherwise. So if you're coming here tonight and it's a surprise, at least again, 110 episodes, that's a lot. That's 3 almost 4 years of consistent, probably 80% of the time, having Monday evening live streams. And so a lot of great conversations. And yeah, kind of on the Western North Carolina front, we've always kind of concentrated on Western North Carolina and East Tennessee and some of the good and the bad and things that can be improved. And we'll do our news and notes and all that tonight. So lots of cool stuff. Mr. Carlos, welcome back, Mr. Mountain Man, to you. And you're having a great start to your week and a nice Monday, Mr. Carlos, another recent regular. Dr. J is here. Say it isn't so. Yeah, well, you kind of got the tail end of that explanation there, but another great channel in the travel arena here. Some good videos recently. I did enjoy, as I commented on your Carowinds experience. I think that's fantastic. Very, very cool. Let's see. Nice hat. Way better than the normal thing you have. Well, Larry's not saying that because of the style. He's saying it because of that logo right there. So actually, Larry probably knew, maybe some of you others see the news, kind of a somber weekend for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I'm also an Ohio State Buckeye fan. As you know, there is a quarterback that used to play for the Buckeyes. And then he went over to Washington, then came to the Steelers with the name of Dwayne Haskins. It was a terrible tragedy down in South Florida on Saturday morning, I believe early, where he got out on foot on the highway and got hit by a truck and killed. It was awful. Young man, so much life in front of him. It was really terrible news just to wake up to. And again, I had watched him quite closely because as an Ohio State fan, he had played all the years at Ohio State. He still has, I think, the touchdown record in the season and the Big Ten record. He was a great quarterback, and so that was really sad to hear. But anyway, yeah, I might switch it up, but right now, I was like, if I get fatigue or it gets in the way or something like that. But Todd Rico is here. How you doing, Todd? Haven't seen you in a while. Hope you're having a great start to your week and a nice Monday. Glad you could join us. Thank you again, Dr. J. I appreciate that. Mountain Man Mom is here. Question marks. Yeah. Well, anyway, you heard my explanation, but glad you're here. I hope you and Dad are doing well, and I love you guys. Let's see. 110 episode. All good things must come to an end. The great things just take a lot longer. Yeah. And I do appreciate it. We've had a very good run. You look like you should be selling moonshine, right? With this hat on. It's actually, I got to say something about it, a wide brim or a cowboy hat. This isn't exactly a cowboy hat, and I do have a cowboy hat, but a Stetson style hat, which is pretty cool. But I actually am kind of fond of hats like this. They're quite functional. If you're outside, I mean, just to be quite frank, with the sun or whatever, having a hat like this is actually super functional, and they don't look bad either. This is not my favorite style hat. I've got a black one, like I told you, like a cowboy hat I really like. It's just culturally, a lot of people don't wear them. So I joke with my wife sometimes. I like it. Look, people down in Texas and stuff wear them all the time at the airport, at the store. I'm like, I kind of wish more people wore them because I do like this style of hat. But anyway, yeah, it's something fun to change it up. But again, see, it's a little bit crooked and the brim, whatnot. Popcorn Sutton hat. Yeah, right. Stopping by to say hi, Mr. Mountain, everyone. Got the grand guy right now. Try to get her to sleep. Well, glad you're here. And Blondie, I've always appreciated the support on the channel, and likewise back at you. Blondie has a fantastic channel. Make sure to check her out if you're new or haven't heard of it or checked it out recently. I mean, Blondie, Larry, there's a Dr. J, which is our show, our story. I mention these channels often, and if I ever miss anybody, let me know. Make sure to send Mr. Mountain Man off with lots of thumbs up. I appreciate it. And always, when you guys have been here and the support of the community and folks, we've always had kind of an intimate crowd here. And I say that in a positive way, not in a like, well, we didn't hit, 100 or 200 people. My non-humble opinion is this was always an underrated live stream. I think people would have enjoyed the format, but the way YouTube works and some of the others, it's unfortunate that we didn't get more folks involved in the conversations, especially around the news stories we would have that are a catalyst for good conversations, whether that was like things that are good or bad. Because if you watch other travel channels, a lot of the commentary and questioning from the audience is very consistent. What's good? What's bad? What's your favorite? What are the things to do? Things of that. And we answered those questions a lot here, but beyond the well-known. And I think, and got into other things about, preservation of the national forests or the parks and, the betterment of them, and some really great conversations. A lot of like-minded people here. We've always had a very good conversation. So, it was a shame maybe somebody would drop in and just hear an excerpt or something, but we weren't the typical live stream here. And I always think I think it was overrated for a long time. A lot of that was due to, again, how YouTube works. And I don't blame it. YouTube, it has to make money via advertising. You need a channel that consistently outputs, and that will drive traffic. Like if I look at the difference between Eclectic Candyman and this, I mean, Eclectic Candyman gets all kinds of views and traffic versus Mr. Mountain Man, because and I'm very honest about it, I don't put out that many canned videos. It's on a pace of about every few months. And so I don't think YouTube was pushing my live stream often. But going back to your support, through the folks that were here and did the thumbs up and such, that at least helped some of the community get in here and be able to enjoy this. And I've gotten quite a bit of positive feedback, and was always open to constructive criticism too. There have been many times, throughout, I've said, how can I reshape? What do you like and not like? And most of the time it was very positive coming back. So I always appreciate the support on Mountain Man Monday and everybody else that was here. Rita's here. Hello, Mr. Mountain Man, everyone. Hope you get over whatever is bothering you soon. Yeah, me too. It's annoying. Like it just started like today at like 10:30. I started sneezing. And of course you think, oh, is there dust in here or what's going on? Maybe some pollen. Again, I'm not susceptible to allergies, but it was funny how it didn't come on slowly. And then just goodness. And my eyes were a little itchy, like a little, not bad. But it's just kind of all up in here. I don't know if I sound like nasally or whatever, but hopefully the mic is clearing it up for me. Glad to have you here, Rita. Rita is probably the longest tenured member here on the channel. And so appreciate having you here on all these live streams. It's great. All about the Smokies. Hey, says all about the Smokies. All about the Smokies. I did see within the last couple of days, you had dropped me a message about saying howdy maybe on a live stream. And I apologize, it did not respond. But absolutely, I just need to, I plan, few weeks out in advance kind of thing. I don't pivot that well. So we can get something, worked out. Been busy on Instagram. Yes, I have been just trying to share. So I guess that'd be the weekend was very full. Let me catch up on some of the comments because I'm like 10 minutes behind, and then I'll talk about the weekend. WNC can speak for itself, but you make it so much more fun and colorful. And cheers. I appreciate that. Here's my North Carolina Starbucks cup. You can get one of these in each state. When I was traveling a bit more, I was, I have one from like Indiana stuff. I never tried to get all 50, but yeah. Completely understand the need for change. It's been a great time with you and the rest of the family. Yes, absolutely. And I do appreciate it. Chad Lovelace thought I'd pop in and say hi. I found out this finale. Really enjoyed the nights I could make it in the Mr. Mapman community. Great channel and content. We'll miss the live streams. Thank you, Chad. It's been great. You've been in and out since just about the beginning. And I know your work schedule and such, makes it difficult. And I apologize. It's always so late. Part of the deal with, having to get the family kind of situated or Monday activities finalized before I could come on. So I know that was a deterrent for a lot of folks, but for those that did join in, or if they're at work, I really thank you and appreciate it, Chad. Thank you so much. Yeah, at work, it can't stay. Hope everyone's doing well. You may have not even heard that, but appreciate that you were here. I still haven't seen why he was out walking across the highway. Yeah. Some speculate this was in reference to the story about this, the unfortunate news of the Pittsburgh Steelers, Dwayne Haskins. He may have run out of gas or something like that. One thing I know, you all know, I'll bring up the eclectic handman. I can turn a wrench. I'm not a professional, but so I would have no problem being the aptitude or competency to change a tire. But I'll be honest with you, probably outside the Mustang, we have AAA. I would pay for AAA anytime I had a flat on the road, because if you get out on the side of a highway and start changing your own tire out of ego or something, and some truck clips you or something on the side of the highway, there couldn't be a more dangerous situation. At least if somebody shows up, they can put flares out or redirect traffic or tow the car over a little bit, then change the tire. It's just a safety factor. One of the most dangerous things is like trying to do anything on the side of the highway. If you ever have to get out of your car on a major highway, try to even climb over and get out on the passenger side. It's just no way to be messing around. I mean, even somebody distracted on their cell phone or a little sleepy and they veer a little bit. Oh my goodness. It's just a very, very dangerous place. That's not what happened in this situation. He was actually walking, but it is something that can happen. It's a dangerous, situation. Yeah. Yeah, it was a dump truck. And so that was really rough. These are great sun blockers. Yes. And you wear fedoras. Okay. That's awesome. Must say I'm a little sad. Always enjoyed the Monday evening conversations. I get it. Well done, Mr. Mapman. And, anybody who wants to, you could always go back. Some of the episodes are timeless. Some may not be, they might be a little bit of the time, but in general, our conversations have held water. I need a fedora to wear when I go to Churchill. There you go. Yes, absolutely. Hands down, the most underrated live stream I've watched. And I appreciate that all about the Smokies. I do. Again, it's in great part to my own efforts or lack thereof. I'm very understanding. There's no ill sentiment that more people didn't just magically show up. It's the way it is. If I was producing videos on a weekly basis or every other week, being a monetized channel, then I would get more traffic and they would promote the live stream more. But in general, if you look, we would get, 15 to 20 people show up on any Monday and we'll get 15 to 20 thumbs up. The point being is the people that were here enjoyed it and supported the channel. And I'm just very, very appreciative of that. Hey, y'all. Yeah. And I got the hat and you got the emoji. I appreciate it. That's really cool. Glad that you are here. I hope you're having a great start to your week and a nice Monday, Kentucky girl. 100% agree. Always look forward to the weekly gathering. Yeah. Great group of people here. I can't underestimate that. I mean, just and when I say great group of people, I mean, like via the conversations, like, it wasn't just mundane conversation. It was, we rose the bar for travel and we talked about really interesting topics. We never really got deep or controversial, which is good because we don't need that here. It would be too exhausting but that didn't mean we couldn't get into very interesting conversations. And so I think it was great. Yeah, it is a great group. And missing the food, they're always got to have something about the food going on. Yeah, we'll run to each other all over. I pop into the other occasional live streams in the wider community, and I see a lot of familiar faces. I'll see Foxy there, or Larry or somebody, Kentucky Girl or somebody else, or Story Has It. A lot of these people, are looking at other ones. So there's a lot of ways to say hi. And listen, this doesn't mean there'll never be another live stream. It's just on this cadence and this format and this style, there won't be. I bet you are stopping because you're so excited about Ditda moving there. Yeah, no hitting my sister. Right. Very excited about Ditda, and we'll get her involved, in videos, definitely the can videos and travel. Of course, she was in the Chimney Rock video, and we have a history there because Ditda and I went to Chimney Rock with my wife and Grandfather Mountain in 2004, I think. That, and you guys have heard the story, but that was the old Chimney Rock trails when it was privately owned, or you could see really where Last Mohicans was filmed. We went to Grandfather Mountain. We did a lot of cool stuff. We stayed in Nashville. I mean, little did we know a lot of where our steps were, we'd be retracing so many years later. It's really, really kind of cool. I mean, it's not kind of cool. It really is cool. Ditda was just here, and I was showing her the hotel we had stayed at when we went to Asheville. And the only place we ate at was the Mellow Mushroom downtown Asheville. Showed her where that is. So it's pretty cool that we're reuniting. How you doing today? Doing well, Hope Faith. I hope you are doing well and having a great start to your week. The interactions on your channel has always been more personable and constructive than most other channels. Kudos to all the great people here. The live stream will be greatly missed by all. I appreciate that. And just, it speaks for itself. It's the people here. It's not me. I'm the narrator, obviously, with the mic, kind of air traffic control. But the reality is it's everybody's conversation that's getting involved, whether we're talking about old fast food restaurants or how places are overrated or underrated or what was good or what's going to be coming up in the weather or what we anticipate or this or that, and food and laughs and all kinds of stuff. Right. What am I supposed to do on Monday nights now? Someone needs to start a live stream. Well, maybe who knows who will take the reins of this. Larry joked last week, the slot was always open. That's one of the things when I was, especially as a smaller channel, in the same community, when people would have a live stream on Mondays, especially early on, you could tell when I played second fiddle to about everybody, but we got on our own feet here. And I think everybody enjoys it. And I also enjoy all those other channels. I say that tongue in cheek. Anybody who's bigger than me, amen. Fantastic. I'm so happy for everybody's success. There is so much room in this community for everyone to do a great job and cover what they want to do or duplicate. Here's the thing. I've mentioned this before, even in saturated areas, where there are multiple travel vloggers covering the same thing, everybody has a different perspective and different opinions. Just like Disney World, you don't have one Disney World vlogger. You've got 500 or 1,000, and everybody's got their own opinion. This is great. One person thinks this is good. Tomato. One person thinks it's great. One person says it stinks. And so it's interesting to have all those different perspectives. It keeps it fresh. So rather than, any single entity that can cover an area, there's always room for lots of people. So it's pretty cool. You need a t-shirt that says I can turn a wrench, right? Well, I can turn a wrench. Yeah. I doesn't mean I can do anything more. I mean, I could turn a wrench. So yeah. I'm with you, Rita. Streams will be missed. I scheduled everything around them. I hope that's that I'm humbled by that comment. I mean it. And listen, I know people, at least through these comments here, really enjoyed this, and some might look forward to it. And I do feel genuinely sad about, that aspect of it, that I'm not able to continue on in that capacity. This wasn't a slam dunk decision, by the way. There was a part of me that wanted to continue to do it. I just have to be sensible and disciplined about my time allocation. But trust me, it wasn't easy. I had many times thought this live stream would be indefinite. I'm like, oh, wait till someday we get to episode 500 or 1,000. But it's just, at this point, it is not sustainable. You've all heard the reasoning, but I really am aware that people enjoyed this or might have tuned in or maybe had a rough, Monday. The thing we always joked about here, Monday's not the most fun day of the week on a traditional work calendar. Not everybody has that, but in general, it was something fun to look forward to. There's plenty to look forward to on a Friday night or a Saturday or toward the end of the week, but Mondays are kind of ho-hum. in generically speaking. And so it was nice to get together. So I can completely appreciate, and I'm sad part of me for the folks that really enjoyed this. And again, you know, the wider community, there are a lot of live streams out there that have fantastic folks that do this every week, multiple times a week, travel on location. I think I just saw Chris the other day was in Las Vegas, and Chris about t-shirts, and you know, Yankee in the South. There's just a whole bunch of vloggers that are out there, and Blondie has done them. You know, Larry. There's just a whole bunch of people, and there's been a bunch of people that have recycled through the community. We used to have the gentleman that played the piano. We had Marvin Carlton. We had a lot of musicians. I remember at one point we used to talk about. You know, we've had people from other countries. We've had, you know, we just had an eclectic mix. It's been really, really cool. I appreciate that again. Yeah. Okay. Take care, Blondie. Yes. Nana duty tomorrow. Love you. Appreciate it. Blondie's Adventure. Again, another great channel. Everybody, you know, check that out. Let's see. You know what? I know I don't cover the Smokies a lot, but I'm only going to say one thing about this because I have put my 2 cents in about this before. If you're going to move over to East Tennessee, do your due diligence and homework, or Western North Carolina or anywhere. The nostalgia of vacation should not be enough to drive exactly where you land. Like we went to Dollywood yesterday, and you know, the rod run had been in town, and just the immense amount of traffic over there. It is really becoming Myrtle Beach of the mountains. And I say because Myrtle Beach really came first. It has a longer tenure than Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg do, as far as hot touristy areas. You need to really do homework. Like, how far is it to the grocery store? Is it go in a traffic pattern? What are the property values? What are the schools? Even if I don't have kids in school, what is it going to do to my my land value? What about utilities? Is it septic? Do they have electricity? Am I going to have to pay for that? Do they have internet? These sound like obvious things, but I think a lot of people just move to a place. You know, do you need a job or not a job? What are the taxes like in the county that you're going to do? But I think a big one again is about the population, the traffic, because what seems neat, oh, we go to the Smokies every year, we have for 32 years, and we want to retire there. And maybe that is still great, but will it wear thin on you where every time you want to go to Walmart, it takes, you know, 45 minutes to do what ordinarily would be a 12-minute trip because of tourism? And while that might seem neat at first, the shiny might wear off on that. So maybe sometime being a little bit more remote, but with closer access to those amenities, that's the best of both worlds. So lots of things to dig into when you want to move to a new place. I highly and strongly recommend that anybody who does that, speaking from personal experience and having moved interstate before, to take your time, you know, take 6 months to a year. Unfortunately, right now, the landscape is not that good if you have to get a mortgage because rates have skyrocketed. I saw today they're 5.25, when just a year or so ago they were 2.99. So borrowing money is getting more expensive. Values have gone up in addition. So it's not like the houses have gone down. So it's kind of tough in that aspect as well. But there are still deals to be had in land. That's the other thing. Some people will buy land and not the house. If you buy land, you know, again, you've got to figure out, you know, has it been, you know, tested for septic, or is it close enough to a city it actually has utilities, and how much is it to run, you know, electrical? Can you be on well water? Do you have to have it run? You know, now with internet, it's not such a big deal because of Starlink. And so, you know, you've got options there, but that can be expensive. Starlink's over $100 a month. So if you're on a budget, you know, all those kinds of things. I know you weren't maybe asking that directly of me, but I think it's something that I have some insight into. I was feeling nostalgic this week, and I started watching the original Mount Man live stream. Funny how long we've been discussing Ghost Town in the Sky, and we will not stop discussing that tonight. There is more to that. Ghost Town in the Sky, yeah. And you know, it's funny. I too went back to a couple of the early live streams. Not only did I not, the video quality was bad on the same internet because I didn't have the whole thing figured out yet about everybody being on the internet. it wasn't as refined, and that's what you would expect. I went back to like episode 7 or 8, and they were still good. The audience was a little bit smaller, but yeah. Let's see. I'm just trying to find the next comment. That was at me. Oh, Smoky Mountain Man. Hi, Mr. Mountain Man. Just got back from the Smokies in East Tennessee. Missed the Smokies already. Of course. Wonderful area. This whole part of the country is just absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Family first. Yes, it always is. I mean, I'm no hypocrite. I go to the gym, or I should say I just exercise. I go to the gym or exercise, family and 2 YouTube channels, and I have a motorcycle and cars I enjoy working on and doing stuff in the yard. And, fixing the house when I have to, watching movies or something on TV, watching other YouTube channels, editing, many, many things. And then, oh yeah, the kids, and so they're not last there, so it's just like a budget, you're looking through and you're like, I made this analogy the other week. It's like, do we really watch Netflix? We're not watching that so much every month. Let's shave off $17, well, is it, $17, not that much, it's one of those kind of things. But I love these live streams. I really miss them. They're always so informative and interesting. I appreciate the positive feedback. Thank you in both ways. The other live streams I've been are just too big. Blondie does a nice live stream when she has them small like this. Yeah, we have been fortunate about that, and I find some irony in that, because especially the regulars have been here, like Rita and Larry, AZ Rock, Ted and Deborah, all Dr. J, Foxy Wolf. I always have said, I wanted more, but and that had no bearing on that decision, by the way, none. But I think it was a blessing in disguise, truest to form of that phrase. Had I gotten bigger, we may have lost the dynamic that we had. So while I say on one side it's underrated, I think on the other side, when I reflect on the 110 episodes, I truly appreciate that intimate nature, because I've been able to be one-on-one with each person that's made a comment instead of having to skip over or glaze over. That's the nature of the beast. Even if this got to 30 or 40 people, I would not be able to read every comment, and then I'd miss, and so I guess I won't feel bad when we're in the middle of the ocean and I can't tune in. Yes, and enjoy your my parents are going on a cross Atlantic cruise, and so I think that's very, very cool. I haven't been on a cruise in like 15 plus years. Should be a lot of fun. I hope you guys have a wonderful and safe trip, and I want to see pictures and hear all about it. Part of my Monday will be missing, not the same. And I as I mentioned, I'm not excited about this ending. It's just but I want to be more positive and reflect on what we had. It's funny because it's not like I'm in media or TV or anything like that, but it sounds very similar to when I watch a show over the year. I mentioned like Carol Burnett recently, or 80s shows I watch, or 90s or 2000. It doesn't matter. When everything, we did 112, episodes, or 150, or however, 78 episodes. And then, you hear the actors and they'll say, well, it was time to move on, or we could have done a lot more, whatever anybody says. It just kind of feels like that. You cannot get the kid's childhood back. You wake up and it's gone and missed and never let it happen. Yeah, I know. And that's the case, that played, a big thing into it for sure. We've been through a lot together. Our words cannot express how much we've appreciated your time, friendship. And likewise, you really have been through a lot more than probably anybody here, and others have had, challenging times. I just know by what people put in here, like Hope, Faith, and others, and, lots of prayers have gone out. But again, the community still has gel in it. And, I was part of that gel on Monday evenings, but there's a lot there. And again, I will throw up the occasional live stream. Maybe I'll try to do the mobile live streams a little bit more. I don't have a concrete plan, but that was part of it, is I need to have the ability to just do as I'm able to. So, and I'm not going away. And Hope, Faith, I'm not going away. It's just this format, but I will still be here, videos and Instagram and shorts I tried to produce this weekend and stuff like that. So, hey, Hike with Mike. Here's another guy we've had for a long time down in Florida doing the hikes. Hope you're having a great start to your week. A nice Monday. Glad you could join us. Let us know how you're doing. I tried to wear a hat like your avatar there, although yours is a little bit different. But yeah. Oh, yeah. Urban sprawl sucks in Florida too. Too many people. I lived in Florida for over a decade, and it really is. The landscape is changing metaphorically and physically. With jobs being able to be remote, more jobs, not all, and people more aware. I mean, just look at this. Like, look at Mr. Mountain, the channel, and the type of videos I do and what I bring, and how you're able to get exposure. If you looked at this, we've talked about this before, 25 years ago, if you wanted to know about the Smoky Mountains or Western North Carolina or Asheville, you're picking up a Britannica, or you have a souvenir VHS video from the national parks, or you got to go visit the place. The ability to digest and view and experience the entire world virtually has, narrowed, where you want to live. Oh, I like Oregon. I like the Colorado and the Rockies. I like Ohio. I like North Carolina, Florida. So, I think people have the ability to kind of spread out a little bit more, but people are also moving to, fun places. In Florida, I rack up as, kind of the epitome of fun. I mean, it is a perpetual vacation. There's a lot of things that come with it, but I mean, hiking, boating, lakes, swimming, beaches, year-round decent weather, the greatest amusement parks on earth, in the entertainment industry, sports teams, big cities, culture, on and on and on and on. So Florida, it comes with the territory. A lot of people want to move there. But I hear you, especially if you want to be in a more rural setting and it's starting to get encroached by a lot of people, with the same idea of where to live. Yeah. And again, I don't do it with ease, but, a necessary move. Big city problems coming to rural areas stinks, sucks. Yeah, it does. And, the more people, sometimes it's good because maybe it brings in money and that helps the community or taxes or schools or something. But at the same times, it can be problematic. It's a complicated balance for sure. I used to kind of enjoy that when I lived in Florida. Boy, I am eclectic. I used to listen to AM radio a lot in my 20s, and that's weird. Most people don't do that. I wasn't heavy into politics, local politics, but I did have a sense of community because things were on a smaller scale than I'd ever lived. So you could talk to your city commissioner and some other things. And so I was really into that and learned a lot too. I didn't do anything with it. It's just, but you could make more of an impact on a smaller scale because you could vote for people or vote for issues or do things. So that was kind of interesting. More time with the family and be happy. And I appreciate that support. I do appreciate that. All the mods in a row. Yeah. Around here, a lot of, speaking of turning wrenches, pardon me. Moderators abound, anybody wanted to be here. We got pretty much the same people all the time. We never really were big enough to need it, but every once in a while, somebody pop in and put some nonsense. So you all would take care of that. So I appreciate the people that did moderating throughout this tenure as well. The little one will be wanting you help work on cars soon. Trust me. I walk in the garage and he's like a magnet, and it's tough because as small as he is, it's dangerous, with what I've got, or the jack or the tools or the liquids, and he doesn't understand yet. So most of the time when I'm out there, I have to lock the door or do something like that, and he gets really upset. But true statement. We canceled our trips to Smokies this year. Price of gas, crowded traffic, too much commercialism, moving away from the traditional Smoky feeling. Todd, we've had a lot of good conversations, including last week. If you go back to last week's episode 109 and kind of cut through to the middle, I go on a little bit of a monologue about I'm sure it's subjective, but I tried to use objective experiences. My long and my short of it was that the nostalgia of Gatlinburg to me, and the memories and the thought of it is greater than the actual experience of being there these days. Not everybody has to share that opinion. I get it. You go there and half the world doesn't share that opinion with me, but I've been there and done that, and I still enjoy it, and the family enjoys it. We were in Pigeon Forge yesterday, very strategically, just went to Dollywood. We didn't go anywhere else. We didn't even go on the Parkway. I didn't even want to touch it with a 10-foot pole because the rod run. So we can kind of come in the back way through Veterans Boulevard, go to Dollywood, and then escape out through Sevierville. But Gatlinburg, the last few times we've gone there, like I remember one time we parked in one of the parking garages in River Road or whatever. We got stuck and just sucking up exhaust like you're at a football game or leaving a NASCAR race or something because the traffic's not moving. And, the shops are getting a little cruddy. There's nothing really special in downtown Gatlinburg. I would say the exception is the Village. I think the Village is pretty cool, and I mentioned that in Ober Gatlinburg. But there's a lot of like junky T-shirt shops, and it's okay. But I said that I gave a tip of the cap to the Arts and Crafts Trail or Loop or whatever they call it. I think that is underrated part of Gatlinburg and a much more localized experience. You can get some real nice local merchandise, special souvenir for the trip. I always talk about that picture back there. I got that just outside the Loop at an art store. So there's things to be had, and I still like Pigeon Forge. I mean, I'm not poo-pooing the whole area, but you gotta know what you're getting into, and it is getting nuts. And I've had articles on here in my news and notes about Gatlinburg Pigeon Forge area being like a top 10 destination, like in the world. Yes, the world, one of the lists, it was like the up and coming place to go. And I get it, because where else are you going to get that kind of family entertainment? You got dinner shows, theme parks, the Smoky Mountains right there. You can go hiking, see waterfalls and all that. But guess what? The secret's out. And so everybody and their brother goes there. And again, so for me personally, I keep saying that same phrase, but the nostalgia and the thought of it sometimes is greater than the actual experience. We'll still go. I'm not backing down from it. If I had Ripley's passes now, I would love it every bit. It was just a bit much this year, but I can appreciate when people say what it is. Now, what we've done on this channel too is, you would think I was a Chamber of Commerce for everywhere else, because there are so many neat and interesting places. You cannot listen. If you want a roller coaster and you want the Hatfield and McCoys, you got to go to Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge. I get it. But if you want some local soap, art, a postcard, a t-shirt, a handmade this or that, some books, local mountain food made, farm to table type stuff. There are dime a dozen neat little towns and places where you're going to be able to park on downtown street and walk and enjoy some real quality food, not chains all the time. I'm talking about, like, when I say quality food, I'm talking about local chefs and entrepreneurs that have opened restaurants that, are doing something unique and neat, and not, a chain restaurant. And so it's abound. It's just all over the place. And so there are so many cool places to see. And that's one of the things I'll continue to do on the channel, is trying to shine a light on those types of places. Most recently, I had been to Silva and Chimney Rock and Little Switzerland and a lot of these other places. I don't know. I'm not sure why in people's mind. Maybe it is easier just when you go to a one-stop shop like East Tennessee, but you can go to many other places and have kind of stretch your elbows out, save money, and I think have a more wholesome experience. But everybody has to do. It's just like going to Myrtle Beach. We love Myrtle. I like Myrtle Beach more for that type of atmosphere. I've said it because it's older, it's more spread out, and you don't feel as, everybody's on top of each other. But there's a big difference between Hilton Head, the Outer Banks, and Myrtle Beach. Quiet, serene versus it's happening kind of things. Less is truly more. Right on top of that. I am way behind on the comments. That's okay. We're going to go for a while tonight. The closest of this made it special to me. I've made good friends on Mondays, and you know, channels have, you know, everybody that's coming here that's a channel and was getting started. I always wanted to promote it and was a big thing for that. And so, hopefully, you know, anybody was able to come here and feel comfortable. Yeah, hope they have a great time on that cruise. Yes, yes, absolutely. In addition, Miss Mountain, Mr. Friends, I got to hang out with you every Monday night. Thank you for bringing us all together. Absolutely. And again, there are others that you see on here that have channels that you can have that continuity there. And again, I'll have the occasional live stream. It'll happen. It just, you know, again, I mentioned the cadence thing. Definitely more important than YouTube. Yeah, I understood. Yeah. And it's not like I'm quitting YouTube because it's just, yeah, not everybody. No, listen, you hear me mention the eclectic K-Man. Some people enjoy it, and some people are like, "That's so boring," and I get it. It's so different than this channel. But the reason I bring it up is because I do spend time on it, and so you know, it's a hobby too. So running 2 YouTube channels, you know, that is, you know, I have to balance that a little bit. Yeah, and I'm glad. Hope Faith, you have enjoyed it. Enjoyed it. I always remember you and your wife were married on a cruise, and your favorite movies, Last of the Mohicans. That's right. We were married on a cruise ship called the Monarch of the Seas, which sadly was pulled into port in India, I believe, and disassembled within the last year. Which is really, you talk about sad, like to me, like the physical nature of that ship we met on. It was a Royal Caribbean ship. I believe they called it the Sovereign class. It was built in the 90s. I think it was 2,200 people could be on board, small by today's standards, but it was a good ship. And we went on it twice. We met on it, and then we went on our honeymoon on the same cruise. That was really neat. But yeah, the ship had been sold to a Spanish cruise company, and then because of the pandemic, things just didn't go well, and then it was retired and decommissioned. And they take those ships apart because they're full of recyclable material. I mean, you can imagine the amount of metal and scrap that comes off of it. So yeah, they basically, if you ever want to see an interesting YouTube video, pick it, you know, say ship wrecker or cruise ship dismantling. They run it ashore, and then these people go out, you know, eventually it takes months, and with torches, and they cut it all down. It's a very dangerous third world country job that those people do. Lots of people unfortunately get killed doing it. You know, they're up very high. If they hit something, they you know, gas and it explodes. It's a very dangerous job breaking down cruise ships. And people live very meagerly in camps and stuff, like local. I watched one. It was kind of very unfortunate, but anyway, not that ship we were on. And yes, Last of the Mohicans. Now, Last of the Mohicans is not my favorite movie. Does any I'm too far behind the comments, so it wouldn't be a fun fact. But if someone wants to throw it in there, my favorite movie of all time, hands down, is Top Gun. No bones about it. I saw it with my mother in 1986 when it was in the theater. I have seen that movie 1,000 times at least. I really, really like the movie Top Gun. I was a big fan of jets and the F-14 Tomcat before it got decommissioned, and just aviation, all the behind the scenes, how they made the movie. I've seen just about every single scrap ever made about that movie. And I'm really looking forward to next month, the second one coming out. That'll be a lot of fun. Of course, I was a big NASCAR fan. Days of Thunder is up there too. Last of the Mohicans, Apollo 13, and I think Tombstone. So a lot of my movies are from the 80s and 90s. I know there's no Renaissance, you know, Academy Award winners in there, but sometimes movies are just popcorn and fun. And I think I'm in that camp. I like a lot of movies, but Top Gun was my favorite. Life is like a setting sun. You turn away from a moment and then it's gone. To get to relish it, time with family is a good medicine. Yeah. You know, and, you know, having Monday freed up, you know, will allow me to shift things around for family activities or, you know, whatever I need to do, and just to help in the week. But again, it's um, it's really, really, great that we did have this opportunity to do together. I try to do some mobiles, but it's hard out there. California must not be big on Verizon. Yeah, I know, because you get into a bad spot and then the quality's not good, and then everybody drops. Everybody has had a great sense of humor here. Very lighthearted. We've had great conversations, but we've also had a lot of good laughs. Yes, yes. Group hug. Yeah. Get a hug in there. I like it. Yeah. Um, Great nicknames, great handles for sure. Great handles. Yeah. I had a car when we first got married that only had AM radio. But goodness, am I that far behind where I was just talking about 12 minutes behind? Yeah. Yeah, AM radio. When I used to live in Charlotte, and when I met my wife, she was going to Purdue. So I was driving from Charlotte to Indiana every other week or something like that. And this was before Sirius XM and Fun Radio and the internet. You had a radio. And so at night, because I was driving a lot at night, I'd get bored of finding XM stations. The AM stations would get great reception, at night on a clear night. So I remember I'd be driving in Tennessee or North Carolina and be listening to a station in like Arkansas or, whatever. Kind of crazy. I stay educated on politics and informed, but never bring them up in conversation. No one needs my opinions in that area. I will say this about this comment because I completely agree. My wife, I asked her today, I was watering some plants, and I asked how so-and-so was doing, and said, so great, but unfortunately, every topic, it wasn't a great family friend or anything. All they did was bring up politics and this and that. And, it was very controversial on topics and issues. And I made the comment, I said, why does that have to be the first thing out of people's mouths all the time now? I said, there are 9 million things we could talk about. There was a time 15 years ago when I may have not agreed with who somebody voted for or your political view, but it didn't come up. It wasn't even the 10th topic in line. I don't know. It's just been such a polarizing environment. It's a shame. It has not bled into here, and I'm glad, and I would not have wanted it. But I'm in line with this. I mean, it used to be our grandparents would say, don't talk about politics and religion. Everybody's heard that saying before. Generically, when you're talking with strangers, it was just because of the controversial nature and stuff. I don't mean in like-minded conversations or something that's, very functional, but it seems like nowadays, like literally you just meet a neighbor for the first time and somebody's popping off about something controversial. It's like, do we really need to go there? Like, can we talk about like, I don't know, GT 500s or like Gatlinburg or planting trees or I don't, whatever, anything, your favorite television show, anything, cooking out cheeseburgers, stuff like that. So, I don't even know if my cars have AM radio. Yes, they would. If you hit, there's still usually a band button on even the newer cars. You can get to AM. I think it's a safety thing too, because some interstate and stuff will still broadcast. You'll see the signs, for traffic and safety information. Tune into 1600 AM type stuff. Time. Hello, Mr. Mountain. I'm in the mountains at 8,000 feet. Woohoo! AM experiencing poor connection. Glad to join you. 8,000 feet. You must be out west right now for sure, because of course Mount Mitchell being the highest east of the Mississippi at 6,700 feet. So you are definitely up there. You're telling the truth. You're stopping so you can run for president. Yeah, president of the Mr. Mountain Man YouTube channel for sure, but nothing else. How's everyone want to keep in touch the same way in the future? Just an idea. Again, there are lots of live streams where this entire community is usually present or semi-present or close by. So, that's what I recommend. And again, I will have, the occasional live stream. And you know what? I love this comment. If anybody else remembers how they first came to this channel, please post it. Mr. Mountman, I was thinking about the first found out about you. It was Yitz at the Apple Festival. That was a great time. That was 3 years ago, I think, roughly. Chris, Mendy, Will, and Don had come to here for the Apple Festival because Hendersonville, North Carolina, and the surrounding area is well known for its apple orchards and the Apple Festival. And, many of the surrounding orchards have events. And I've done 2 videos on it. I went to Justice Orchard, and then I went to the the Apple Festival in downtown Hendersonville, and both have their individual nature. If I had an opinion, I like going to the orchards better. The problem with downtown Hendersonville in that event, downtown Hendersonville is a fantastic place, but that event, it was a lot of it was just a lot of like advertising booths. You know, I remember there was like tub fitters and insurance and the newspaper. I get it. They need to be there to pay, but you know, I want to see more of the local type stuff. And they did. They had people making ice cream and the donuts and the apple farms. So that was really nice. But once you had seen all that, there were some rides for the kids and stuff. So it's definitely worth the experience. Let's see. And I appreciate that. Yeah. I guess we'll have to see each other on other channels. Yes, just as I've said. Call someplace paradise, kiss it goodbye. The Eagles song, Last Resort, rings so true. Great quote. Good song. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, she did teach me better. Yes. More people, more problems. Remember that old song, more money, more problems, more people, more problems too. And you know, I think it can. Yeah, it really can. With growth of an area, it sure can. You're going to Myrtle Beach. I'm leaving on Monday, going to the beach. I hope you have a wonderful time. Myrtle Beach this time of the year is interesting. The weather should be perfect, like as far as temperature. The water will be a little too cold, but you can put your feet in it and stuff. You know, or dip your toes if you want to, if you get to the ocean, or if you're not going to the ocean and you're just going for dinner or for socialization or friends or community, you know, all of it is good. Again, Myrtle Beach is so big. I talked about last week. I mean, you're talking about from Murrells Inlet all the way to the state line, North Carolina, South Carolina, is so big. And that takes well over an hour to go from that distance, maybe an hour and a half. And that is the Myrtle Beach area, in my opinion. Murrells Inlet and Surfside may not be Myrtle Beach, but you know what I mean by the greater Myrtle Beach area. You know what might be making my car have some vibration when I'm idling? It's not bad. Also has a rattle like cans hitting together. It's underneath the car toward the back. So that could be several things, and I don't know for sure. A rough idle, low engine idle will cause things to start to vibrate that normally wouldn't. So if you're in neutral, I do not recommend this in an automatic car, but if you were in neutral and you gave the car just a little bit of gas, just a little bit in neutral to rev the engine just a little bit, does the vibration go away? And if that's the case, that rough idle could be caused by any number of things. You know, it could be from the simplest, an old air filter, bad spark plugs, dirty fuel injectors, more severe things, a problem with the engine or dirty intake, bad O2 sensors. There's a whole litany of things that can cause that. Now, if it's not, and the vibration gets more as you accelerate, then it's probably something physical, like the exhaust runs from the front to the back of the car. One of the hangers that it goes into, there's these rubber hangers that they're welded onto the frame with the rubber, and then the exhaust will have a hanger that they go into and they sit there. If that hanger has become detached and say the muffler's swinging around, it can bang on the inside of the car. It could make a vibration, especially if it's in the back. Depending on if it's a rear wheel drive car, which is probably not likely. There's, you know, there could be the rear differential and other things back there. There's a lot of things. Sometimes things like this, it's a tough pill to swallow, but it's good to take to a mechanic, and they do sometimes charge the $80 fee or $100 for an assessment. I like to go to mechanics if I have to. That'll roll that assessment cost into the labor. Some don't nowadays, but anyway, tough to diagnose over, you know, like this, but it you know, those could be some things on that. I also watch Everything Autos on YouTube. Very eye-opening regarding out of owner toners and expected privilege. Don't know how people who work in Galton Big Pigeon Forge do it daily. Oh, on out of towners and expected privilege. Yeah. This is a problem with vacationers in general. And it goes back, there's a tie into that comment that Larry had that I made the comment about manners. I think manners are just on the are just degrading in society in general. I don't want to get too deep, but I do think that there is a very me-centric nature and it's totally supported by social networking and all this. I said to my wife recently, if you went to every social media platform and took away the heart or the thumbs up or the like or whatever, where would people be? That's what people, they don't realize it, but they're driven off of that feedback, that self-validation. When it's all about me, what I'm fueling at here is when you go to a place and you've spent money, it's still about me, whether it's traffic, you got in my way, you offended me, or it's at a restaurant, you didn't do it right and I'm spending money. This is about me. You know, manners are on the decline, self-centeredness is on the uprise. I think you fuel all of this together and you have this bad combination in society of kind of this decline of behavior, and it stinks. You do get a lot of people that are entitled, people that feel like I spent a lot of money on vacation. Well, you know what? A lot of other people spend a lot of money on vacation too. But that's not, people don't care about that. And so there's a lot of rudeness. I have seen it in all walks of life. When we used to go to Disney, people would get in front of you and elbow to take a picture with their family because and it's crazy. You've got to take a deep breath and you've got to pass it on, pass on the kindness, try to set an example. Sometimes I mentioned on a live stream like 20 or 30 ago, like if you do one small gesture during the day, let a car in or do something nice for something. It doesn't have to be doing anything major, but just some decent gesture to somebody. Who knows? I made up this scenario like, you do something at Walmart and you let the person get in front of you in line. And so that saves them a few minutes. So they drive home and then they let some other car get in. And then that person goes home and instead of having a bad day, they treat somebody at home a little extra nice, which brightens their day because they had a hard day at work. It propagates throughout versus you go to Walmart, somebody gives you the middle finger and cuts you off. So then you get out on the road and you're grumpy. So you don't let the car in. And that person goes home and says, I've got a bad day. And they're a little bit salty. It goes both ways. And so kindness, it sounds all cliche, but it really does make a difference. But back to this comment, I see a lot of it, out and about. It's just tough. And so, you'd hope there'd be some kind of turn on that, but you just got to have a whole heap load of patience when you go out. You really do. I mean, we've been at Golden Corral. We went one place. It was in Myrtle, I think. And we were in line. There were a lot of kids, but in particular that day we had like the youngest kid and he wasn't having it, not by at all. And it was visibly difficult for my wife and I guarantee you 110% that if the situation was turned around and I was at the front of the line with my family and we were not struggling at that moment, I would give that family my spot without even a thought. Everybody just stared at us, because everybody, I'm hungry. This is my spot in line. We were really struggling because our son at the time, he had started to understand what the place meant. So he knew that meant food, but he's too young to try to reason with him. Like, you need to be patient. He didn't understand that part. He just knew that it was time for food. And so, yeah, a little bit of kindness goes a long way. I mean, that's another cliche one, but yeah. Dark side of fame and celebrity lifestyle. This is another comment I made before. Like, yeah, I'm not going to get too far into that one, but I made the statement before. When you look at Hollywood and celebrities and all this, people weren't meant to live like a king. I think I say that generically, but it's just too. It's such a challenging, I think, the arena. I mean, especially with the ego, it's hard to control. Could you imagine if you were like over the top popular and a celebrity, and everywhere you went, people just treated you nicely, not because of who you were, but because of what you were, you'd begin to believe it. It's no wonder when I see these football players and stuff acting terribly, you know it, because they think they're everything because we've made them feel like that. Anyway. Did you get the email with the picture I sent you? I did not. And I checked my email today. I checked because I was going to be embarrassed for the last live stream. So did you send it to the Mountain Man one? If you didn't, let me know, unless it's older. Like I checked that email today, but let me know. Anyway, Last of the Mohicans was filmed in Mr. Mountain Man's area. Yes, it was at Chimney Rock. A good portion. Some portions were up in New York. And other things, but yes, some of the beautiful parts here. I thought Top Gun, just mentioned it a week or 3 ago. Yes, you got it. You got it. You got it. Top Gun. Tom Cruise, right? Well, you know, funny enough, I did enjoy a lot of his movies early on because I was growing up during that era. There were some cool ones like Days of Thunder and Top Gun. Those are cool action movies. And there were a couple other good ones that he did, but I like the Mission Impossible movies too. Yes, absolutely. Good group of people here. Good Will Hunting is your favorite movie. It changed your life. I saw that movie in the theater. Fantastic movie. I own the movie. I bought it when it about first came out on DVD. I love that movie. You know, I mean, who can forget the line at the end? It's not your fault. You know, when Robin Williams has that folder, he's like, Will, it's not your fault. He's like, I know. It's not your fault. I just love so many lines from the movie, like "How about them apples?" You know, when he's beating out the Harvard guy in with the smarts, and fantastic movie. Good Will Hunting is probably on a 2-year rotation for me. If it comes up and I have the opportunity, it's a little bit of a longer movie. I love that movie. Excellent movie. Val as an Oscar winner. Did he win an Oscar in that? If he did, he deserved it. Lonesome Dove. That's with Magnum PI, dude. Slipping, right? Isn't it? Let me look it up. I did not watch that mini series, Epic Adventure. Hold on. No, is it not? Oh, it's the movie. Robert Duvall, Tommy Lee Jones, Dan Glover, Diane Lane. That's a Angelica Houston. Wow, that's a cast right there. I will have to check that out. I will certainly check that out. I was thinking of a show, but I must have been wrong. I was certainly wrong about that. I was thinking of something else. I will check out Lonesome Dove. Great suggestion. I still listen to AM radio more than FM, not a pop guy. Yeah, now with the thing is, if I want to listen to talk radio, I usually listen to like iHeartRadio, like Steelers Nation Radio or something like that. I had to fix B yesterday. That's in reference to Larry's car. He needed a new coolant temp sensor. Missed video opportunity. Absolutely, especially for the eclectic handyman. I just did a coolant flush and fill and the supercharger coolant flush and fill because I put new tanks from Shelby on the GT500, and that's what started some of the saga with the power steering, which is a whole nother issue. But Monday Nights with Mr. Mountain was my escape from all the political stuff. Yeah, I don't want to get into that. I didn't, but it's yeah, it wouldn't have been enjoyable at all if we had done that. I discovered Mr. Mountain through his little Switzerland YouTube video. That one makes sense because that video is very unusual on my channel. It took off disproportionately to all my other videos, which I'm happy about because I thoroughly enjoyed making that video. But it was, it's 100 to 1, but it did drive a significant amount of traffic, and I'm very happy about that. I barely remember what I ate for dinner. I just remember being here. I remember not being here. I may have met a lot of people too through Yankee in the South when I was on their live streams years ago more regularly, saying hi, and maybe Will, politely would say Mr. Mountain has a channel and somebody would check me out or something like that. That's a potential way too. Probably, I didn't even read the next comment. I seen you on Yitz on their live stream. Could have been Chris about t-shirts, right? We used to have lots of orange groves. Now they are subdivisions. Hope your apple orchards don't become subdivisions. Yeah. The only saving grace here, although I would have thought Florida maybe as well for a different but similar reason, is the geography here. You can't just take a field and turn it into a subdivision because we don't have fields. They're mountains and it's more difficult to build upon, or the terrain is more hilly. Florida, when I had lived there, one of the problems was not full on swampland, but land that was not compacted enough or whatever ability to build on. I also heard this was the worst orange crop in 50 years. I heard that on the news today. It's been so long ago I started watching Miss Merman. I can't remember. It's been so much fun. I appreciate that, Rita. Again, you've probably been here longer than anybody, and I'm so happy to have had you here in your company. It was a little Switzerland video. It made me start watching the rest of your videos. Another one for little Switzerland. Yitz. Okay, 2 for Yitz, 2 for little Switzerland. Probably ran into the crop up. I got some pictures to show on that. Yes. Our story has great live streams as well if he's doing them. The late night old movies were so fun. I could catch them. That's awesome. Haven't done a live stream in quite a while, but I appreciate the shout out. Yes. Amazing place to get away and walk. I might have missed the connection because I'm behind 12 minutes. I'm feeling really bad for Will and Don right now. I was talking on a channel that I thought was Yit's video. His channel strictly putting them down. Yeah, unfortunately, there is negativity in the community, and you know, you wish people could channel that energy into something positive, and that's where I'll leave that one. It takes in a tremendous amount of effort to create videos and things of that nature. You really wish that energy could be put to a good cause, because if somebody's efforting that energy towards the negativity of someone else, that's unfortunate. For example, here, I don't get a ton of monetization, but at least, trying to put it towards donations and goodwill, or showing the community and such. But that is, it's unfortunate what's happening. It really is. It really, really is sad. I hope it would cease, and I hope folks can find a different way to channel their energy again, towards something fun for them and interesting and positive. To do something better instead. Since you've been here a few times, do you have any suggestions for things to do with people in a wheelchair and kids that have never been there before? I'm taking my aunt and 2 cousins with me. When you say there, do you mean Gatlinburg or do you mean Asheville? And I'm sorry, I'm behind on the time. Time meaning the comments on the thing. Pardon me. Excuse me. Sorry about that. I would say briefly, I'll go for both. I did read that. What's that most popular falls? Waterfalls. You guys are going to beat me. Hike near Gatlinburg. Just did this. Cataract Falls at the Nature Center, but then there's another one that's called. What are you called? I've talked about it so many times. What is it? It's past Sugarlands. I'm going to scroll down the comments. You guys are going to beat me to it. What is that waterfall? And I'm going to make sense of it in like 2 seconds. Let me scroll to the bottom and I'll come right back. What's the name of it? What the name of that falls? I've been there. They made it wide enough that wheelchairs can be on it. That's the point I'm getting to. It's a longer hike, but they've done it. We did it with a stroller, so I know wheelchair at least to the very end. But anyway, that's as far as hiking. What I would recommend for folks in wheelchairs, like in this area, is if you want nature, go on the Blue Ridge Parkway and enjoy the scenery from the car. Second, stop at a place like Mount Mitchell and, have a picnic like I did in that one video. You can get the wheelchair access into the cabin. If somebody could make some sandwiches, or maybe you do want to grill or don't want to grill, or maybe grab some subs in town and take them up to the top of the mountain and have some incredible views and just enjoy nature, maybe take a few pictures. Some great things there. Chimney Rock is a paid entrance. I'm talking about some of the places local to here. You can take the elevator up to the top. From there, it's not super friendly, wheelchair accessible for any of the trails up top, but so I don't know if I would recommend that, but the city of Chimney Rock would be nice. The Arboretum, which I've done another video, which is in East Asheville off of 191, would be another beautiful place to see flowers. There's some nice paths. That's definitely wheelchair friendly. If you go to the Arboretum, I think that's highly recommended. Now, if you go over to Gatlinburg, I already mentioned somebody's going to get me with the falls. What's the one? Nobody got me with the falls. Which one is it? Anyway, the falls, that's the first major falls past the Sugarlands Visitor Center on the right-hand side that everybody goes to. That is wheelchair accessible, because I had done a video where they had mentioned it, and I didn't do a video on it, but I did a news and notes on it. Like I said, depends on how much you want to get in and out of the car in that area. I mean, you could go around downtown. There's a lot of crowds, but it's not that you couldn't use the wheelchair, in downtown Gatlinburg. Dollywood, you can get around. There's lots of folks there with wheelchair. Some of the shows and such are all wheelchair accessible, like when I talk about the dinner shows and things. When I catch back up on the comments, I'll try to give some more specific recommendations. Trying to find, I haven't been there a very long time. I'm sorry. I'm trying to find the next comment. And prayers for Larry's safety. What did I miss? What did you do? Nowhere to think LA. I'm not sure, but yeah, be careful, Larry, when you're out west. Keep your car doors locked. Okay. Oh, Tom Cruise made great movies. I'm not a fan of him. Yeah. You know what I found out? It was his first wife, Mimi or Minnie Driver. I always forget her first name. She was the one that was, pushed him into Scientology and stuff. And I think that set him on a trajectory personally. I don't follow him that much personally. It was just interesting. I had recognized that recently. Yeah. Lonesome Dove was Robert Duvall. You have a great week. Thank you for the memories and the time. Can't wait to catch up with you next time. Dr. J, thank you for stopping by. Glad you could join us here, and always nice having you here and everything that you've added to our live streams. Thank you so much. Well, Mr. Man, I have to go. Thank you for providing many, many enjoyable Monday evenings. I'll keep watching, and thank you to everyone for a wonderful conversation and being so nice. Yes, I appreciate it. And thank you for joining, Todd, so much, and glad to have you here. I know you used to be here early on the live streams. I mean, back in the day, I don't mean early in the time during the night. I meant early episodes you were here. So glad to have you back, and glad you were able to be here for the first one. Oh, not a problem. I haven't even done news and notes or the channel stuff. I knew I'd go long tonight being the final Mountain Man Monday. So my grandson and I are planning on making it to Asheville in July or in October. I hope we can meet up. I will try to let you know for sure. Absolutely. Please do. That's really cool. Both are good months. If you might recall, there was probably not. I mean, it was a very specific article I did probably 6 months ago about breaking down Asheville and Western North Carolina by month. I didn't write it. It was an article somebody wrote. Believe it or not, like the two biggest months of the year, I think were July and October. October for obvious reasons, because of the leaves. The thing about October, I was just talking to my wife about this. In the Asheville area, October is a little early for peak season. It's usually November, because you're closer to 2,000 feet to 2,200 feet. However, you're within a 30-minute to 45-minute drive of 6,700 feet at Mount Mitchell or anywhere below, or Mount Pisgah. And so you can get to color, leaves changing colors very, very easily and very quickly. Does anyone remember Mr. Mountain Man Eats Apple Festival? I remember he won a chin-up contest. I do recall the delicious apple donuts. You know what was interesting is I went to the Apple Festival the year before. Was it no, I was already doing Mr. Mountain Man, but maybe I don't remember if it was before Mr. Mountain Man channel or whatever. Year before was push-up contest. And the National Guard was doing it, same as that chin-up contest. And you had to see how many push-ups you could do in 5 minutes. Was it? Or 4 minutes or a minute. I don't remember what it was. Whatever it was, I did like 90 some push-ups. But what stunk was in my typical bodybuilder, always exercising, having done push-ups my entire life, I was doing them really well. Like it was basically nose to the ground. So I was doing full on push-ups. Well, this dude next to me is doing these little beep, 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 like little, seriously, I don't even think they were half push-ups. And the drill sergeant lady or whatever, she was counting them. So he beat me by like 4 push-ups. I'm not salty about that now. So I would have won. I don't even care about the prize. It was just, it was way different. It'd be like having a bench press contest where somebody's coming down and doing like 1/3 reps where I'm touching my chest. So anyway, and the apple donuts are delicious. Anybody who is in the area wants to see something neat, again, the Apple Festival. But as I mentioned earlier, if you're going to be in the area, I would do half the day in Hendersonville and then half the day at an orchard, because the orchards themselves are like really cool. They do a great job. They'll have a representative in downtown Asheville, but you can go to any small town street fair anytime you want. They all have a little different theme, but going to the orchard is pretty special. Yeah, so maybe Hope Faith, is in the area. Val did not win an Oscar. I always thought he did. Well, he deserved one. Maybe he was up for one. If I miss any comment because I'm a little behind, please repost it. Oh yeah, I did do the hammer. Somebody had taught me a while ago how to do that one properly. Also, how to swing an axe properly. It's my buddy's wife who lives in Minnesota actually taught me, because the way that your arm is supposed to slide on the shaft of the axe and come down on it, and how you're supposed to stand. It's good. It's not rocket science, but it's good to have somebody who knows what they're talking about teach you once. But anyway, that same philosophy applies to that fair game and where you hit it. And it wasn't too difficult. I got this blow up space alien. That thing was around the house for like over a year. It was kind of getting annoying because it's so big. It would be on the couch and be in the corner and be here, and I'm kicking it out of the way here and there. I don't know where it is now. Grandfather Mountain is expensive. Did I say Grandfather Mountain? I meant Mount Mitchell when I was talking about, I don't know if I'm crossing things here or mixing things up. When I was talking to Hope about having a picnic, I meant to say Mount Mitchell. Please forgive me. I don't remember what I said. What I meant was Mount Mitchell. Mount Mitchell. Mount Mitchell is free. They do have a gift shop up there if you want to go there, but I was talking about Mount Mitchell, the one that I did the video. You can go up to the top and you can have a picnic, and you can even, with the wheelchair, you can move around a little bit. You could visit the store. You can even get up to the highest point that is wheelchair friendly. It is a bit of a steep climb, but there is a wheelchair access all the way to the top. You're just going to need somebody with a little bit of muscles behind you to push, or if you've got a motorized, but it is friendly. You can get up there. So it's a great place. I'll say it 15 times. I meant Mount Mitchell. Grandfather Mountain is a cool place. I haven't been there in years. But Billy Graham Cove is a great place to visit. Always appreciate the recommendations. Let's see. Klingman's Dome. Yeah. That's how, that little path that you always see in the postcards. That's what it's there for, is wheelchair accessible. Same thing with Mount Mitchell. They have that little curved path that goes up. It's the ramp. Yep. They were referring to the highway shootings out there last week. Okay. Yes. Please be safe for sure. Stop in and watch some of my videos every once in a while and keep in touch, Mountain Man. Yes, Hike with Mike. Everybody, please make sure to check out Hike with Mike. And I also want to apologize to the community if I am not giving back that same amount of watch time that you might to my channel. Some people are, I think, are afraid to admit that. I'm not. I apologize. In effort of what I'm talking about, that I have to balance and discipline my time. Part of that is just leisure and watching things. So I do apologize. But the least I could do to each channel here, and what I always tried to do, knowing that I don't always have time to watch everybody's videos, is to promote your channel. And I'm sorry Mountain Man Monday won't be going on anymore, but please, by any means, if anybody wants to ever leave a minded comment on any of my videos, like, oh, I also do hikes too, check out my channel, please put it on. I totally support that. So everybody, make sure to check out Hike with Mike. And Mike, it's always been great having you here along for the ride as well. Billy Graham Cove is right off I-40 at exit 55. So that's a little bit east of Asheville, I think. I see a lot of comments about, again, about the negativity towards some of the travel channels out there, which again is unfortunate. Wish somebody could take that energy and refocus it towards something they enjoy more positively. You know, the one thing interesting when people do that, I know, you know, it says here the satire, but I always wonder, you know, some of these YouTube channels are a brand, or incorporated as a company. You always wonder if it's borderline slander, or, you know, that is hurting the brand. But I don't know. That's legalese. That's way beyond me. Yeah, something more positive. Dirt racing in Bristol this weekend, NASCAR style. That is incredible. I'm a long-term NASCAR fan. I don't watch it as much as I used to, but boy, have they done some creative things on the schedule. I mean, between the Roval at Charlotte and the dirt at Bristol, which they needed to do because Bristol, they were getting so good at racing there, but it's really cool. I will definitely have to tune into that. Yep. Oh, and sorry. Nothing fair about it. I used the wrong word. I knew that didn't sound right. Not slander, defamation. Oh my goodness. Yeah, defamation. Excuse me. I meant defamation, not slander. My apologies. I totally screwed that one up. Yeah, defamation to a brand. I was thinking that when somebody's incorporated as a company or a brand, you know, but I don't know. I don't know. And again, I just wish that negativity would cease and people would be able to refocus that effort to something cool. Maybe, you know, travel hobby channels, whatever, anything. If you're going to be in the Pigeon Forge area, go to the Goats on a Roof and do the mountain coaster. Yes, that's very cool. All those mountain coasters are really, really neat. I've done them and they're fun. They're kind of expensive, but they're fun. You did say Mount Mitchell. They also have a small nature museum that's free. Yes, Mount Mitchell. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Klingman's Dome is a beast to climb unless you're in good shape. Good to know. Good to know. Is this your last Monday? Yes, Spaceman Dudley, it is. This is the last Mountain Man Monday live stream episode 110. We are capping it here. Not the end of the channel, not the end of all of what's done, just the end of this format. I'm just making that statement to keep in touch every once in a while. Don't disappear since you are stepping back with the live streams. Absolutely. But also, you didn't ask that, but I'm still doing it anyway because I feel badly when I'm not able to give back. Like, I wonder if some people are like, well, I watch every one of Mr. Mountainman's video. How come he doesn't watch mine? Nobody might say that, by the way, but if anybody does, they might have a right to do that. And I feel badly. Just I don't have time to pour over the content, but at least I could do to give back was to promote folks' channels as much as possible. Had the Indy race this weekend, 2 blocks from my Airbnb. I only made to Friday's practices, though. Oh, cool. Yeah, you did mention that last week. That's awesome. I did Goats on the Roof and Mountain Coast last weekend. It was very fun. Nice. My son is going to the Bristol race. I saw a cool picture. It was a retro picture of Bristol in the last couple of days where they didn't even have stands in the turns. Isn't that crazy? I mean, it exploded. There was a time in the early 2000s where, you know, when it was Coliseum style, where people were like handing down season tickets from generation and they were impossible to get. And then the last decade, you could barely give them away. I mean, kids were going for free and stuff like that. I mean, when I went to Thunder Valley last year, kids were free. Now that's NHRA, but I do think that's a good thing, by the way. Kids, maybe like an older kid that's almost an adult might enjoy it more, but charging children like $150 for a ticket when they barely pay attention if you have the capacity, but I get it when there isn't the capacity. $10 ride, it's a good bargain. Cool. This is a fact. Mount Mitchell is the highest point east of the Mississippi. That is a true statement. I've done 3 videos, I think, at Mount Mitchell. It is my favorite mountain here in this in the Blue Ridge area, and a great place to go. And if you ever get to this area, Mike, a great place. There's a lot of hikes up there once you get up there, beyond just the parking lot and such, and the smell up there. I used to, you know, you guys remember I'd always pull off the evergreen. I finally threw it away. But the branch from up there, but the smells are just so fresh and clear. It's really great. It's just to not be super repetitive, but it's a matter of time allocation. You know, running 2 YouTube channels, a family and work and the house and just everything and all my hobbies and stuff. I just needed to reevaluate. It was kind of like a time budget cut, primarily with family and focus. Just this stage of my life, it's just the cycles and the bandwidth to be able to do this continued on is just not something I can do at this time. But I'll still do the occasional live streams and such. Going to Myrtle Beach with your cousins. I hope you have a great time. East of the Mississippi. That is correct. Wow, I'm all caught up. Woohoo! All right, so let's go ahead and go into channel updates for the week of April the 11th, 2022. Just again to reiterate, yes, this is the last Mountain Man Monday, but I do plan on doing the occasional live stream, you know, when it's appropriate. You know, I've wondered about the year in review. You know, that's my favorite Mountain Man episode of each year, whether I do that as a live stream or a canned episode, you know, maybe the occasional one or on location. You know, the thing about on location, it might be more interesting. Sometimes it's hard to walk and chew bubble gum, I think. But I would, you know, if I could be at a neat place and experience it and show it or something like that, I might be able to do that. No concrete plans, but I think the focus right now is stick to more, you know, can style videos, which, by the way, I did shoot a video off the cuff unplanned this weekend. It's going to be a little different format. You'll see what I mean. It goes with the channel, but it's a little different format. Something to look forward to. But I think it'll still be enjoyable. So I'm going to try to work on that this week, actually. I have umpteen gazillion for the Eclectic Candyman. There's no end to that, especially since with that channel, like I'll be working on something and it'll just pop up. I'm like, this is a great thing to record right here, and I might be able to help out some people, and so I do it. So yeah, let's go ahead and look at some pictures here from Instagram. And as Larry mentioned earlier, I was a little bit busy. I think I was kind of conscious of the fact that I was ending the live streams, so I wanted to, you know, stay in touch with the community here. So let's see what I've got. Let me share here. Get my bearings. There we go. All right. This is over on Mr. Mountain _man at Instagram. This was a video. Okay. Well, all right. I'll try to explain the weekend as we went along. The weekend was really full. And it was really cool at the same time. Maybe this will, woke up Saturday morning and it was snowing a little bit. It's hard to see there. I thought that's all we were going to get, so I recorded it. It's kind of a boring video. It was on YouTube as well. It was like a shorts. But remember last Monday, it was on the live stream. I was looking at the weather, and then I kind of squinted and looked outside. I'm like, snow? I'm like, there's no way there's going to be snow. Well, Saturday was the weirdest weather day. It went from sunny to snowing, and depending on where you were, it snowed quite a bit more. My wife had gone up to Boone to pick up a bed that we had bought online, and there was all kinds of snow up that way. I really wish I would have gone with her. I didn't because we had separate activities going on. This is what I was doing. We were making some pancakes and bacon. That's turkey bacon. And then there's some pancakes, and the pancakes came out great. I mean, they're not world-class pancakes, but they were good pancakes. They were not overdone. And the bacon was really good too. That was some good food. I'm hungry. I am hungry right now. And I already had dinner. My wife took this picture, credit to her. I actually said it in the picture. So good. But up there, and I don't even think this was the most amount of snow, but she said in some places the grass was completely covered. They got a lot of snow up that way, and she was just loving it. She sent me pictures from some ice cream shop she went to, said it was like a Hallmark show or something, real country type stuff. I should have taken more of her pictures and uploaded them, but I wasn't there. So, but that was I mean, can you believe it? It was April, and I did make shorts of it, but it was crazy because I was out and about, and then it started snowing really hard, and I was not expecting that. I mean, it had been 70s during the previous week, so around here, nothing was sticking, but it was snowing a lot, and even into the evening, I remember I was dozing off, taking a nap, and the side of the tree was turning white because of the blowing snow. It would be clear, and then all of a sudden, the visibility was like 100 yards, and it was just snow. It was really, really a crazy weekend. Yeah, so this is me driving. If you watch the shorts where it's snowing hard, and I say it's a snow encore, this is like 30 minutes later. That looks like I took that picture in July after a summer rain at 3 p.m. It was super sunny at that point. And then it still snowed later. It was a crazy day. Spring didn't know what it was all doing. All right, so we went yesterday to Dollywood, and being Palm Sunday, we wanted to go to church on the way out because the hours at Dollywood are short. So we found a church in Maggie Valley and went, and Maggie Valley had up on the mountains quite a bit of snow too, and just amazing, amazing views. I just thought that view right there was incredible. And then I think I have another picture in here. Why are you not showing? Refresh. Come back. Where's that picture? Did I not post 2 pictures? Was it just that one? Where's all my pictures? What's going on here? Back. Hold on. Sorry for the technical thing. Yeah, this picture. What happened? Anyway, this picture. Look at that picture. Isn't that beautiful? I mean, this is April 10th, and there's all that snow on the mountains. It was just fantastic views in Carolina Blue Day. It was so nice. Yeah. Got one nice comment from Rita and 3 junk comments from spam. Very, very nice picture. There you go. That was a cool picture. Ghost Town Village was very close by. The kids were super surprised by the story. I was trying to piece it together. Yes, it was super cool. Yes. Going to talk a little bit more about this in a few minutes. A long and storied history. Last time it was open was in the summer of, I just read it. I'll read it again. 2012 or 2015. There were too many issues and it's been hard, but they haven't been able to reopen it. But I did a shorts off the cuff here, a YouTube short. So that was really cool. Then got over to Dollywood. Never been inside that building to have that very expensive, overpriced, but yet very delicious cinnamon bread. It was $10 bread. Well, what a picture. Dollywood was crazy because Mount LeConte was also filled with snow, but then it was felt like over 70 degrees down. It was just a crazy spring weekend there, for sure. Pretty as a postcard. Yes, it was. It was a very nice picture. I snapped it quickly. There's the bread. We put the icing on top. Trust me, the bread's good and it's all it's cracked up to be. But sometimes the line is like an hour and that bread is $10. Now we get a little season pass discount. But is it as good as everybody says? Yes, it is as good. I think I already said that. Wait, what? Is that for real? The real Dollywood? The real Dollywood, is that the real Dollywood commented? They did. We love this so much. May we feature it? Click the link in our bio to give us permission. Well, why not? How do we do that? I'll do that later. Wow. Yeah. Okay. 10 hours ago. Let's tell them. Maybe not. I was going to reply. Okay. Anyway, that's cool. The real Dollywood said something there. That's pretty fun. My grandson made some of this bread and it tastes just like it came from Dollywood. Oh, that's awesome, Rita. That's a better comment than Dollywood's. I like that you made it. That's awesome. It's a good cinnamon roll for those guys if you've had it. It's very soft. I like the crispy top. They have some gooey stuff at the bottom, but Rita's right. You can make this. You could make this at home, but it's nothing like having it at the park, right? I really like it. Good thing I didn't say it was overpriced here. If Dollywood's here, it's a great deal. No, it's no more expensive. If you've ever been to like a pro sports game, when I took the kids to that Steelers Charlotte Panthers game, oh my, you guys might remember on the live stream. I think I mentioned it later. I got like a couple of I got a burger and the burger was $12, but the burger was not a Mountain Man size burger. So I had to get two. So it was like $24 or something just for the burgers. I don't even think they came with the fries. I think I spent $70, which is more than going to Golden Corral. It was just crazy. Anyway, speaking of which, I had to take a picture. I'm not normally taking a picture Golden Corral, but you guys know I talk about it so much. We went there last night, and it wouldn't be a story if this is the new phrase. Somebody lost their soup, dropped their soup. You may have remembered I said about a month ago, I was walking by some lady who was getting sick. I thought she was spilling her soup off the table, but she was actually getting sick. Yes, for the hungry man. Yes. Somebody dropped their soup. It wasn't my family, thank goodness. But it was a little kid, and they are so prepared. They have like baking soda and like an equipment. I'm telling you, Golden Corral, people do not know how to throttle the food intake. And so you almost have to, they should make it, speaking of making shirts, it's like, it's not a great day at Golden Corral till somebody drops their soup. Right. But anyway, I gotta go, it's just a great place for the family. Even me, though, I'm susceptible to eating a little too much, as I did probably last night. But I would like some of those bacon and pancakes. Anyway, if you want to keep in touch, check this out here. Glad they like that picture. It's kind of funny because that picture right there is not like really spectacular picture. I didn't even put the icing on it, but there was no line. So it's very cool. All right, cool. Let's see. What are you guys saying about everything over here? 40 comments. Whoa, something's cool. Let's hear about the snow and all this stuff. Have you bought the Easter eggs for the kids hunt? The little ones will have fun this year. Yes, we always do an Easter egg hunt. And so sometimes those eggs can be recycled because they don't, we don't, the plastic eggs. But we definitely have to do an Easter egg hunt in the yard. I got this idea from somebody else. What's fun is you put like $1 in a couple of them and you hide it. So that's kind of fun. My photo on my channel is atop Hanging Rock Mountain. That's a great picture, great avatar right there. Everyone has a story. Well, I appreciate that, Spaceman Dudley. Likewise to you as well. That's a very kind compliment. It's hard to commit yourself to something every week. Better when you can pop up when it's convenient. That's why I quit bowling. You knew I used to bowl, right, Larry? You've been on enough live streams. I used to. This is very, very similar to bowling. I bowled for years. I mentioned I had a good enough average to have a PBA card. I've had a couple of 300s. I really enjoyed bowling, but bowling was another one that when I started lifting weights and doing all this stuff, I was like, it's just too much. I had to cut that out. But bowling's fun. Someday I'll probably get back into it. We'll continue to enjoy your Instagram post. Yes. I'm getting choppy. Please. I hope not. Oh, I'm sorry about that. I like bowling, but don't go as often as I'd like to. Yes. Yeah. Time for some food. That's right. Bacon and burgers. I could do a bacon cheeseburger burger. I rolled a turkey once in bowling. Yeah. 3 in a row. The next one could be episode 111. You don't have to restart the numbers. Just an idea. I've thought about that too. I think, we'll see how that comes about. You're health conscious when you put turkey bacon on a double cheeseburger, right? And the Diet Coke too. People laugh at that, but I mean, this difference between a Diet Coke and a regular Coke is like 50 grams of sugar and like 400 calories versus 0 and 0. I'm not saying that the stuffs in Diet Coke is exactly super healthy, but it does matter. If you're eating fries, a burger, and a real Coke, and you go to Diet Coke, at least you're a third better off, or better yet, have a bottle of water. But you know what I'm saying. Let's see here. Snowed about 8 inches in some parts of the Smoky Mountains Saturday. Crazy. What a wild April. By the way, I figured out we got some flurries before Halloween this year. So in totality, starting in October, November, December, January, February, March, April, 6 months out of the year, we have a potential for snow here in the mountains. 6 months. Half the year we could get snow, as proven by this weekend and what we got way back in October. What happened in October was extremely brief, but there are days and nights that get very cool when winter starts to show up in late October, where it definitely can happen. And we get snow and Foxy get heat. And, I've said that before. I remember when I lived in Florida, if you watch the jet stream and those high and low pressures, they would sit there right about in South Georgia, where you've said you're in that area. And it's just hot and muggy right below that. So yeah, but some would envy what you have and not have to shovel snow and do all that kind of stuff. Yeah, the Wii bowling. I used to love the Wii bowling, but about throw my arm out, doing that, but it's a cool thing. I always like when the bowling ball goes backwards and everybody goes, oh, here comes the food portion. I got a little bit. Yeah. 3 strikes in a row. That is correct. They do not still make games for the Wii. They make games for the Nintendo Switch, but getting games for the Wii is dime a dozen because it's kind of like an older system. So you can get a lot of games. I like them all, but didn't get around to comment for some reason. Oh yeah. Appreciate it. Yeah, no problem. I mean, I honestly, I'm pretty bad on even paying. I like to see who comments and stuff, but I really put that out there so everybody can enjoy. Ooh, the $100 apple pie. Where is that from, by the way? I know what you're talking about. Isn't that at Dollywood? Isn't there like a 15-pound pie or something? I'm having vague recollection. Please validate that for me. Cinnamon bread at Dollywood is awesome. Got some last week. Yes. You heard my comments. That is cool about the real Dollywood thing. It kind of reminds me of the time I made the Benjamin's Calabash Seafood Buffet, the original Benjamin's. And that one was almost embarrassing because I, at that time, and still am, I was kind of on top of every YouTube comment. I have no idea how that one slipped through the cracks. It was like 3 weeks later, and I replied. It was the restaurant itself saying how much they enjoyed it. And they're like, we didn't think you saw our comment. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Normally I check things daily on the comments, trying to, keep up with the channel for those that are polite and watching it and stuff. But anyway, yes, Nintendo Switch is a big thing now. Yes. It's the next, well, actually it went Nintendo Wii and then it was the Nintendo U. I was about to say University. It's not a University. It was the Nintendo U or something like that. Right? Nintendo U. Oh, what was it called? Console after the Wii. Why am I having a brain fart on this? It was the I've had almost every single one. I can even tell you a history of the Nintendo. I have had the original NES, the Super Nintendo, the Nintendo 64. I did not have the GameCube. I had the Wii. Yeah, it was called the Wii U. It was the Wii U. Yep. And the Nintendo Switch. Good old Nintendo. I really enjoy documentaries about classic video games in the 80s. If you look at like Sega Master System and Nintendo and the Famicom and the Atari and all that stuff. Really, really good. Ain't you special for a going away post? Right. Congrats on the Dollywood comment. I know. That would be great. I hope they send me a 20% coupon. I had a 15% off for the season pass holder. So it ended up being like $9 and I don't know, 40 cents or something like that. But we devoured it. Like okay, take money aside. We ate it. There wasn't any left. There was no being conservative on eating that. Paid $20 for a beer Friday at the race. Prices at these touristy things a bit ridiculous. $20 is crazy. I mean, I remember when I would get, a beer for $10 and that was nuts. $20 for a beer, like a Bud Light or something. Golly. Yeah. Hopefully you recycled the can, got every drop, everything you wanted. At 98 degrees in the sun, it stands. I enjoy it. Don't think $20 though. Right. Did you ever bowl at Western Lanes in Columbus? No. So I bowled Main Lanes, I think it was called, out in Whitehall, I think it was the last time there. It only lasted a minute. Thank you. Most of my bowling was in Florida and in Charlotte. Years ago when I was backpacking in mid-May in Brevard, and we got 24 inches of snow, so winter may not be over yet. In May? That's crazy. You know what else is crazy? If you look, Brevard is actually south of here, kind of southwest. But if you go down to like Cashiers, the elevation is way higher than where we are. So even though you're almost in South Carolina, Cashiers is like so high that they get cooler temperatures. It's kind of like Burnsville and Boone and stuff like that. Got to go teach a goat to play ukulele. Take care and have a great night. Thanks, Mr. Mountain. See you around somewhere. Thank you so much, Spaceman. Appreciate you stopping by. And are glad having you here on the live streams for sure. Apple pie at Dollywood is huge. It's over $100 for one slice. I think it's about $15. Well, that would be a lot more filling than the bread, but it sounds like that would last a little bit longer. Although with me, you don't know. I might be able to eat half of that thing. How much does it weigh again? It was like 10 pounds or 15 pounds, I think you said. Oh, and you did say you had a Dreamcast, the one that was my wife. They're both expensive. After that, yeah, right. Stop playing video games, right? Yeah, that makes sense. That's cool. Got to go in 15 minutes. I have to finish the live stream later this week. No problem, Hope Faith. And I had planned on going longer tonight, knowing it was, the last one. So everybody be comfortable. And yeah, and yes, definitely enjoy that trip. All right. So I think that about does it for the channel updates. I'll try to get a video out this week. Again, a little different style. But I think it's still an interesting video. And I'll give you a little hint too. There's a hidden agenda with this video. It's mostly for my little boy. So that's the kind of the style, but it still fits the channel. So anyway, let's see. Oh, that apple pie comes in a cast iron frying pan that you get to keep. Ah, now that is pretty cool because that's probably like that's probably about a $30-ish, right? Piece, I would think. All right, let me get over here to news and notes for the week of April the 11th, 2022. And because I've yammered on so long, we've lost a lot of our crowd, unfortunately, because I have some good articles. I always have good articles. This is my own fault for going on so late, but we're still going to have some fun here. So let's get to that. Let me get this all queued up here. News notes. Yep. And this, got to get my notes up. And oh, come on. Yep. Good. All right. Good. Yep. Here we go. Here we go. Oh, yeah. Fried chicken. That's right. Make bacon, pancakes, something. Probably, I don't know about pancakes. I don't know. I'm not the cook. So I think there's others on here, Rita and others that are much better cooked than I am. Foxy and folks. Sorry, why am I all discombobulated here? Here we go. Now I got it. All right. Here we go. Let me get the banner out of the way. All right. Top 11 places to visit in the North Carolina mountains. I should have done this first. People were talking about this. Kind of a lengthy article. So I'll probably glaze over some of the obvious, but not so obvious. It's kind of interesting to see. If you're looking for a year-round getaway at a higher elevation and want to escape from the big city, look no further than one of these top places to visit North Carolina mountains. With plenty of outdoor adventure opportunities, majestic scenery, and wide open spaces, these towns, parks, and attractions are the perfect locales to visit if you're in search of active pursuits. If you prefer a more laid-back vacation, there are also historical and cultural attractions, luxury accommodations, and excellent dining options. And if you're a craft beer enthusiast, North Carolina is home to more than 370 breweries and brew pubs, so the largest number in the American South. Here are the top places. Number one. Remember, this isn't Asheville. This is the mountains. So number one is Asheville itself. Asheville is one of the most state's popular vacation destinations with its funky bohemian vibe and prime location in the southern Blue Ridge Mountains. Historic Biltmore Estate is one of the main attractions, but visitors will also find a vibrant culture, craft beer, and culinary scene to explore. Downtown is easily walkable, and you can even go on a self-guided scavenger hunt along the urban trail to learn about Asheville's intriguing past. It keeps going on and on about Asheville. Let's go to the next one. Biltmore Estate. This is kind of the obvious one. 8,000 acre property, America's largest home, former residents of George and Edith Vanderbilt. Lots of things going on. Seasonal events there, Christmas, horseback, carriage rides, lots and lots of stuff. I'm definitely glazing through that one. Next up, the Blue Ridge Parkway, another kind of obvious one. And one of my prime recommendations, a day on the Blue Ridge Parkway, is cost efficient, fun, memorable, great pictures, and cool places to see. You can make more than one day on the Blue Ridge Parkway, but you can definitely at least do a day. Known as America's favorite scenic drive, the Blue Ridge Parkway is a winding 469-mile road that connects the Blue Ridge Mountains, Shenandoah National Park in Virginia, North Carolina's Great Smoky Mountains National Park. For main entrances, lots of hikes. If you decide to go hiking, plenty of options with easy short trails or more demanding treks. No matter which trail suits your hiking skills, you may be rewarded with stunning panoramic views of the mountains, even dramatic waterfalls. After exploring the area by car or foot or by bike, don't miss two of the top spots to visit on the Blue Ridge Parkway: Craggy Gardens and Mount Mitchell. Tallest mountain, 6684. Travelers to the Parkway say it's one of the most beautiful drives in the country, with incredible sunsets, stunning overlook views, and numerous waterfalls. Next, Great Smoky Mountains National Park. Remember, you guys know this, so I'm not telling anybody who doesn't, but everybody assumes the state of Tennessee and Great Smoky Mountains National Park are synonymous, but while they are, there's, I think, more acres, as I've mentioned, in the state of North Carolina than in Tennessee. So kind of the underrated side, but it's Western North Carolina, East Tennessee, and the park encompasses 520,000 acres or 800 square miles. The park is also known for striking blue mist over its peaks and valleys. And this is a true thing, by the way. It's not just in the Great Smoky Mountains National Park, the Blue Ridge Mountains, and even where I live, you get some of that, and it's just incredible. Kind of like that picture, although that's at sunset. But if you're staying in Asheville, the main western entrance to the park is at the Oconalufi Visitor Center, is approximately 55 miles from town. Visitor Center is where you'll find a collection of historic log buildings. Best place to view the park's elk herd. While there, visit the nearby Mingus Mill, a grist mill dating back to 1886. Cataloochee Valley is another great spot for elk viewing. Yes. All right, here's some ones that are maybe more unique. The Highlands. Situated along a plateau in the southern Appalachian Mountains and along the eastern continental divide, Highlands sits at 44,118 feet elevation in the Nantahala National Forest. The charming mountain town offers plenty of outdoor adventure options with many hiking trails, picturesque falls, and fly fishing in 107 miles of rivers and streams brimming with rainbow, brown, and wild brook trout. Yum, yum, yum. Love rainbow trout. There's vibrant culture, art scenes, exhibits, and luxurious accommodations, etc. Next up, Grandfather Mountain. This is a new one. Linville. Grandfather Mountain sits at 5,946 feet of elevation. I didn't know it was that high. I would have, if you had asked me off the cuff, I would have thought more in the 3,000 range. I did not know it was that high, which is cool. In the northeast part of the state and as part of the United Nations Southern Appalachian Biosphere Reserve. There's a mouthful. The mountain is estimated to be approximately 300 million years old, with some rock formations dating back as far as 1.2 billion years. 1/3 of the park is operated as a tourist attraction under the Grandfather Mountain National Stewardship Foundation. Proceeds preserving the mountain. One highlight of a visit to the mountain is the panoramic view from the 228-foot-long, mile-high swinging bridge, one of the highest suspension footbridges in the U.S. at an elevation of 5,300 feet. There's a trail below the bridge. You do need to get a ticket for Grandfather Mountain. Previous visitors highly recommend purchase tickets online. I think you save a few dollars. Time slots to get in. There's also a wildlife habitat, and I know you can see bears and stuff. It's pretty cool. The Blowing Rock at Blowing Rock, known as North Carolina's oldest travel attraction. The Blowing Rock has been welcoming travelers since 1933. The ancient rock created during the formation of the Blue Ridge Mountains is actually a jagged cliff at 4,000 feet above sea level, overlooking the Johns River Gorge at 3,000 feet. And from the precipitous ledge, you can also see the Hawksbill Mountain and Table Rock in the southwest, and Grandfather Mountain and Mount Mitchell to the west. In the winter months, the Blowing Rock experiences a peculiar occurrence. Snow falls upside down. This phenomenon, which is how the rock got its name, is caused by a flume formed by the rocky walls of the gorge. The strong northwest winds produced in the flume are powerful enough to return light objects dropped into the void. Wow, that's really cool. Next up, the Nantahala Outdoor Center in Bryson City. You know, that's a part of the state, by the way, down there, kind of getting towards Tail of the Dragon and Bryson City and all that, and the Highlands and all that. There's a never-ending amount down in that corner of the state that's just awesome to check out, including this. Nantahala Outdoor Center hosts more than 1 million guests annually for various land and river-based activities and excursions. Founded in 1972 as a small motel and gas station situated along the river, one of the largest outdoor recreation facilities in the U.S. It's also a place, I think I mentioned this before, where Olympic athletes come to train and practice. There are almost too many adrenaline pumping activities to choose from, with many activities offered in other towns in North Carolina and other states like Tennessee and Georgia. Top thrills include guided river rafting, mountaintop zip line tours, a zip line adventure park, and more. Purchase an adventure pass that gives you access to multiple excursions. If you're serious outdoor adventure, how do you know if you're serious, by the way? You might also be interested in the facility's courses, which cover everything from padding instruction classes to wilderness survival. Next up, Bryson City. If you're visiting the Nantahala Outdoor Center for an adventure activity, plan a day or two to explore Bryson City. Situated along the Tuskegee River, this laid-back community has quite a bit to offer for its small size, with craft galleries, bookstores, fly fishing shops, a history museum, an aquarium, many restaurants, and more. While in town, you might even want to book a ride on the Great Smoky Mountains Railroad. Choo-choo! One excursion departing from Bryson City makes a 4-hour, 32-mile round-trip journey. There's been movies filmed there, like The Fugitive. There's plenty of accommodations, etc. Pisgah National Forest, Nashville. I do have a motorcycle ride through there. Boasts more than 500,000 acres of old-grown forest. You go down to Brevard and you can get to there pretty easily. Well, actually, it's split across both sides of the cities, which always confused me because I was like, wait, Pisgah National Forest is up in the northeast, but it's also down in the southwest. How's that? But if you look at a map, 100,000 acres once belonged to George W. Vanderbilt. When Vanderbilt's wife Edith sold the lands to the U.S. government in 1914 after her husband's death, this created the first national forest east of the Mississippi River. Cool. Pisgah is also, that's before the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. It's not a national park, but it's a national forest. Travelers can visit the Cradle Forestry and America Historic Site in the park. I always pass by that, which features historic buildings, guided walks, living history interpreters, an old logging train, and the Forest Discovery Center. Wow. A popular drive for visitors to Pisgah National Forest is the 15-mile Forest Heritage Scenic Byway. Highway 276, longest route. You'll find the Cradle Forest Historic Site, Sliding Rock Natural Water Slide, and Glass Falls and Morse Cove Fall. If you're an experienced hiker, you'll want to plan a visit. This is the road where I did the motorcycle ride, and also I haven't done a video, but there are offshoots where we like to go and grill sometimes. It is fun. Another top attraction is North Carolina Arboretum, which I've done a video. Boast acres of trails and cultivated gardens, beautiful plants and flowers. Hikers and mountain bikers will want to check out the Lake Powhatan Recreation Area, Black Balsam Knob, and Graveyard Fields. If you're staying in Nashville, you can catch close-up views of Mount Pisgah, just 10 miles south of town on the Blue Ridge Parkway. Travelers say the area is beautiful with lots of trails, waterfalls, and places to camp. Sugar Mountain, for skiing, they go into. Snow is not as reliable in North Carolina as it is in other parts of the U.S. It's best to check the snow conditions. That stinks. Yeah, I know. Oh, yep. Located approximately 110 miles northwest of Charlotte, Boone and Blowing Rock, Sugar Mountain is top ski-rated area in the state. They have a 700-foot long tubing ride down the mountain. That sounds fun, too. And an alpine coaster. Oh, wow. The first of its kind in the North Carolina mountains. The coaster, a combined toboggan and roller coaster, reaches speeds of 27 miles an hour on 360-degree loops. Well, Tennessee has a lot of stuff like that, but we don't. That's really cool. Let me catch up on the comments, see if you guys said anything about all that stuff. A lot of cool places. Oh, this has been a great live stream, and I had to find the last comment, and a sad one, understand. Hopefully one day you can do a live stream again. I will be looking forward to your videos. I appreciate it. Rita, I don't know if you left already. I'm sorry. It's super late. Hopefully you're still around, but I do. And there will be videos to come for sure. What do you think about the charge to park at some places in the Smoky Mountains? That is Rita, you always have great questions. Okay. we've talked, this is one of the good conversations we've had on the channel. I think that there is a problem with the degrading of lands because of the high population in the parks. They need to do a couple of things. But the thing is that the funding for that park is through, federal money, and nobody likes higher taxes. So, they're not swimming in the dough. So they do get donations at some of the visitor centers and things of that but they either need to get, let's just talk in a vacuum. They either need to get the funds to create more substantial parking areas that are probably paved, which takes away from the natural essence of the park. Or they need to control it through crowd control through paid parking. It's like the Disney model. You use pricing model to control crowds. One of the two will work. What will not work and what is not sustainable, in my opinion, is the continued just increase in population and destruction of the berm and the sides of the road, and that you might as well just bulldoze it and make it a asphalt parking lot, because at that point everybody's already destroying the land anyway, but they need money to do that. It's kind of, it could be like the toll road type philosophy. Use the money to help pay for these things. I'm no expert or civil engineer, obviously, or, anything like that, but those are my off the cuff thoughts. That's a great, great question, by the way. Great question. Question of the day. You wouldn't want to go on a swinging bridge that high up. I have not been on that in almost 20 years. I do not remember what it's like, but my sister Dita reminded me a few weeks ago. She said, I didn't like it. I don't recall it. I remember taking pictures with my wife. That's right at the advent of digital cameras. And I think I have some digital pictures from there. I might have to dig them up. I think they're digital. That'd be pretty cool. If I have some, maybe I could post them. I started over a mile-high swinging bridge at Grandfather Mountain, and I froze. I couldn't go any further. 2 people had to walk me over the bridge. I don't blame you. I'm not real great with heights either, but it depends on the type of heights. It's been so long since I've been there, so I'm not sure. Through Mom's Ashes, Dead Center Mile High Bridge into Cherokee Woods. Yeah, I think you had mentioned that before, and that's I'm sure, was that a special spot for you all? I'm sure for a lot of people, it certainly, it just the picturesque area and nature, and again, Cherokee Woods. I'm not intimately familiar with that area right there, but sounds like it was something memorable for you. I wonder what he thinks. Oh, that's talking about the dog. Yes, at least you tried. At least you tried. Miss Smoky Mountain Man, and I rode the Great Smoky Mountain Man Railroad. Very nice. We got to Bryce City. It was a 6-hour ride. That's super awesome. My son's been getting into steam trains, and I've been enjoying kind of learning a little bit more. When I was a kid, I had an HO scale train. I did not heavily into it, but model trains, and I did enjoy that. I got it for Christmas one year, and I continued on. I did enjoy that. Unfortunately, it saw its demise when my parents moved out of the house, but I did have a chance to take all the box cars and the locomotives. I think they're in a box. Bryson City and Silver are neat little towns, kind of like a Hallmark town. Yes, I would like to see Bryson City at Christmas time. Ooh, that's yeah, Bryson City. I used to watch a show called Log Cabin Living. People love Bryson City. I passed through it. I ate at Burger King there. That's my experience on the way to Tail the Dragon. I ate at Burger King in Bryson City. Yeah. Now the Sky Bridge in Gatlinburg, I don't think I'd do that. That's a way different experience. Grandfather Mountain, it's kind of momentous in the views. I'm sure the views in Gatlinburg are good, but you want good views. Here's an underrated one. Go up to Ober Gatlinburg and take that chairlift all the way to the top. When you come back down, amazing views. Gatlinburg looks so tiny from up there. I think it's really cool. She wanted to go back to her motherland. Yes, that's where I chose to do it. Mixed her ashes with Cocker Spaniels. Okay. Beautiful. Yeah. Yeah, it's a good place for your mom. Yeah. Didn't make me dizzy, just scared, especially when the wind was blowing hard and the bridge was swinging. Yeah, I think that's what my sister said. Good night, guys. Hope to see you soon. If you see me in the chat and other channels, holler at me. You bet I will, Hope Faith. I try to always, when I see like Foxy Wolf or anybody that's familiar, I certainly do. Thank you for all your contributions, here, being here, and as a newly crown moderator, helping out and all that. I really appreciate it. And hope you have a wonderful, wonderful trip to Myrtle Beach. Just such a fun place with your cousins, and have a great time. Thank you for being here tonight. Appreciate it. Yeah. Chris about t-shirts is that acronym. You almost bought a B&B in Bryson City, and I'm sure that would have probably been a lot of work, but that probably would have been a great investment considering, how popular that area has gotten. I have not been there in a while. Yeah. Oh, you're talking about the live stream. Okay. Next article. So Ghost Town in the Sky. This is Miss Alaska Presley, one of the original strengths behind Ghost Town in the Sky, synonymous with Ghost Town in the Sky. She died just a few days ago. I did not know that. By the way, let me make sure you guys can see this here. Oh, I have to go to bed now. Mr. Mountain Man, thanks for all these great times and the wonderful live streams. God bless you. Thanks. You as well, to you and your family. Appreciate it. And thank you so much for having been here. Maggie tried to revive Ghost Town in the Sky multiple times. And was all about ghosts. There wasn't anybody from the history I've read that was more through and through, Ghost Town and the resurrection of it than her. From the article, in the last months before her death, Maggie Valley icon Alaska Presley, who was 98, was as excited about the ghost town as she was when she helped the Mountaintop Amusement Park first open in 1961. She passed away Thursday after a brief downturn in her health that began about a month ago. Prior to that, Presley lived in her longtime Maggie home and was active in an ongoing effort to revive Ghost Town in the Sky. David Angel, owner of Elevated Mountain Distilling, was one of the business owners working with Presley on the project, and said she was driven when it came to Ghost Town and bringing the amusement park back to its past glory days. She was one of the pioneers, and right up to the very end, that was her focus. Before that, she was in great health until recently. She was an icon. Let's see. Let's see here. I'm just skipping through the article a little bit. You couldn't be in Maggie Valley without knowing Alaska Presley. The two began working together in 2012 when Smith was the chamber director and Presley was working to revive Ghost Town. I remember being with her at the A-frame when we were discussing future plans for Ghost Town. You could see the excitement on her face and hear it in her voice. She wanted to know every little detail. Presley's legacy will surely be tied to the amusement park, especially if Frankie Wood were able to get things going, she said. I would like to think he would keep Alaska's legacy alive. He did promise to erect the cross. That's one way he could do it. Scrolling through. The Ghost Town revival was at the forefront of her efforts until the very end. She was talking about Ghost Town, what she wanted to see, what her thoughts were. She knows what it would mean to Maggie Valley, wanted to see it come back to life. She hoped it would take shape before she passed. Alaska was a strong-willed businesswoman who invested in Maggie Valley. Thing that stands out most is she wanted a cross at the top of the hill. She wanted to look up and see that cross. She and many will be watching with great interest in what happens next. Presley was born in Clyde, but came to Maggie Valley with her husband in 1955. When they had some success with the motel, they opened it up initially. Presley said in a 2020 interview with the Mountaineer, the business really took off when they met R.B. Coburn of Virginia, who had already operated 2 other theme parks, wanted to open a third. It was the Presleys who convinced him to build his amusement park atop Buck Mountain in Maggie Valley. The park grew through the years and became a popular destination. Many fondly remember the days when they visited Ghost Town as a child. Talk of its reopening sparks excitement to plan to visit again with grandchildren. Park visitation and upkeep declined through the years, leading to its first closure in 2002. After an unsuccessful run under a new ownership group, Presley bought the park out of bankruptcy in 2012. The amusement park reopened sporadically during 2013 and 14 amid inspection failures. This is what really was a problem for them. Inspection failures with the chairlift, the amusement park rides, and more. In 2015, she announced an effort to reopen the mountain attraction under an Appalachian Village theme. 2018, she began working with a potential buyer who spent 2 years trying to renovate the park, but fell short of securing the estimated $10 million in investment that were needed. A short time later, Presley began working with another potential buyer, Frankie Wood, who she entered an agreement in 2021. Under the agreement, Wood, who is still managing the partner in Ghost Town the Sky, will determine what happens next. I believe that's that gentleman from Myrtle Beach who had done all the retail development at Broadway at the beach and all and such in the previous articles. But just an accomplished, beautiful woman there who, you know, if that middle picture is a crazy view of that Red Devil roller coaster, used to be red. And some of the park, it's hard to tell, but the Western Village is at the top. Look at that little trolley train on the right. That's what I had in my shorts on the YouTube. It's painted red. That would take visitors up and down. But anyway, that's an icon of this. Yeah. I saw the article about the past owner. Present owner has not given up yet on reopening the park. Many business owners are hoping something will come in there soon. Yeah, and it's a shame she couldn't. I mean, 98, thank goodness. I'm pretty sure, and I'm glad they left it out of the article, but I had read that in that last decade, somebody took advantage of her. They were talking about reopening the park with her, and she had, I'm paraphrasing, stars in her eyes and let him live in her house. He like lived in her basement. I know that sounds weird, but it was part of the research, and he was like a phony. He kept saying he had investors that were going to bring in the money, but he was lying, basically. If any of you can validate that history or not, let me know. But that's how I recall it. It was kind of a dark period, but I'm sure she persevered, obviously, through it. And if it genuinely was a fraudulent situation, hopefully, you know, that she got past that quickly. But it was still a shame because I'm sure I think the person was trying to siphon some money or something like that. But anyway, not to take away, a wonderful woman, brought a lot to this Western North Carolina community. And it would be interesting if they can do something. I mean, one of the things I also read was there were so many financial costs in the last decade. They had to replumb everything. They had to add electrical. They had to add like an evacuation safety route under the chairlift. All these things are infrastructure, and they were super expensive. Again, things I'm not an expert in, but I know that building code has evolved over the years. So whatever you built in 1961 doesn't mean it holds water in 2021 or 2022. So you have to buy all this stuff that's not rides. And if you can't get the money, and then if you don't, you know, it's just very complicated. So the one thing is, with all that investment made, at least, you know, you're not starting from scratch up there. You've got infrastructure laid out and the access road and some of this. So while all of it may not be able to be resurrected, somebody surely could do something up there. And if you could get people up there reasonably, you might be able to have some really, really neat entertainment, shopping, dining, get a hotel up there with like incredible views. And if you can keep it 4 seasons, so it's not a deterrent if it snows, you could do some real high class stuff, but have a mixed, you know, ability for people of all different, you know, abilities and incomes. So yeah, sounds like the story of Guntown Mountain in Kentucky, probably similar. You know, that era in our cultural history with the, you know, the West and the Old West, you know, just kind of died out later. And I think along with it, some of this, yes, they did take advantage of her. They opened a few shops, but it didn't work. Yeah. And was it more than one person? I remember a particular gentleman, but I think he kept saying he had investors in Florida or something, but it wasn't real. All right. Next up, gotta have food. I didn't take a picture, but as a little nod to Asheville, this title is articled, "What's New in Food? Strada Italiano and Social Lounge celebrates 10 years." This is where I went with my wife, not through any kind of research, for her birthday 2 months ago. You all might remember on those live streams, I think one of them I had to cancel because it was on a Monday or near it or something, but we went to an Italian place. That was it. And if you see in that third picture, there's like seating and then there's stairs that go up. We were up in that loft. It's an older building. One of the reasons we went there is because it was one of the shorter waits. It was only an hour. So we just kind of hung out downtown. Downtown is so easily walkable. I thought this was a nice nod to Asheville because not only have I been to this restaurant, but you can kind of get the flair. You know how I'm talking about all these mountain towns? Of course, Asheville is more like a large city, but look at that. That's not a chain, you know, that's not I get it. I go to Golden Corral and stuff, and I've got a young family, but I'm talking about when you want to try something local. There's no shortage of it in downtown Asheville. When you go out to eat, you're not going to some chain restaurant. You're going to get some local stuff. Now, the prices do vary in downtown Asheville. This was one of the more reasonable spots for eating. I think some places are, you know, it was her birthday, so I would have treated her or whatever. But there were a couple places I was looking at. It was like 2 pork chops and a side for like, you know, $48 or something, you know, kind of pricey. And it didn't look like the theme of the restaurant had anything significant, but this was a good deal. The article's brief, but it basically says in March 2012, or 10 years ago, when Strada Italiano and Social Lounge opened at 27 Broadway, the location was considered cursed, says owner and executive chef Anthony Serrato. Tingle's Cafe, Zoe Rose, and Never Blue were among the previous short-lived restaurants that came and went inside the 19th century building. So there's some history for you. But a decade later, and despite the pandemic, the curse appears to be lifted. On Sunday, March 27th, Strada Italiano and Social Lounge celebrates its 10 years anniversary. We are so grateful for the Asheville community and the team we work with. So many faces and so many hands have helped create Strada's lasting success. As part of the celebration, Serrato and the Strada team are paying homage to the history of its location with some of the restaurant's classic dishes. Tuscan duck and figs, pasta, portofino, and grilled Florentine ravioli are among the 10 items that will be specially paired with 10 cocktails from the Social Lounge's original bar menu, back when it operated as Sazerac through March 27. This is a few weeks old, so that was dated. For Serrato, the people at the center of Strada Italiano and Lounge, Social Lounge, most responsible for its success. I've always envisioned Strada to be a heritage business. We've always promoted from within, so people have a career trajectory within this organization. That's super cool. The whole reason we're successful is because we've empowered our employees and built a great working culture. Later this year, his latest project, Gemelli, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. It's an Italian word. The Sprint Out of Strada is slated to open inside the former Green Sage space at the Westgate Shopping Center. It is Italian for twins. That could be Gemelli or something. Gemelli is a loving nod to the twin baby girls Serrato's welcomed in 2020. The new space will offer a split service concept, providing both counter service and traditional sit-down dining. Menu features will include fresh grab-and-go pastas, sauces, salads, and antipasta, as well as a bevy of beer, wine, and cocktail, including 6 cocktails. It's been an incredible journey, and I like to think we're not even halfway done, says Serrato. I have zero Italian in me, but I like Italian food. And we did enjoy that place. So if you're ever in Nashville and you want something decent, they do take reservations, by the way. We didn't do our due diligence. We wanted to kind of seek out because we didn't really know what was down there. And we ended up there. It was really, really good. Let's see. Oh, they're talking about a gondola lift put up there if it reopens. That is really cool. Yeah, they just need, it's really money, I think. By the way, Maggie Valley, when we were there yesterday, we didn't spend much time, but talk about, they must do an incredible job of keeping the chains out, because as you drive along the main drag, it is only local restaurants, local shops. I mean, there's a few gas station chains. You don't see a McDonald's, a Burger King. I wonder if they have an ordinance, to be honest with you. Now, if you go into Waynesville, you can get all that stuff, which is just around the corner. But Maggie Valley, there's like nothing. If you're like, oh, I want to get a quick fast food, you can forget about it. You need to go to Waynesville. That's pretty good. Yes, Rita's up on that place. It was a nice place to eat, and I do recommend it. Italian is your favorite food, this would be a great place. Downtown Asheville is very safe and accessible and easy to walk around. Parking is reasonable, probably $10 or less for the evening. And most days, I think it's really nice. Looks like a nice place. I like Italian food. I like places that are not a chain. Yeah. And so, funny, I wasn't reading this comment, but back to Maggie Valley, it's another great place. I don't have much experience in there except for the ice cream place I made a video about 2.5 years ago. But did I have gelato? No, they brought us a dessert because it was her birthday. We had eaten so much. She likes calamari. And so we got calamari for appetizer. And then it was so good. I don't normally do this, but we got a second calamari because it was her birthday. And I said, let's just, whatever you want. And then we got dinner and there was bread. I don't know if we ate that much of the bread, but we were pretty full. Pistachio. Yes. Gelato. That is pretty cool. I had lasagna for dinner. Speaking of Italian. Yeah. I'm super hungry. After this, I'm going to be going upstairs and raiding the kitchen for something. Isn't tiramisu Italian also? Hopefully somebody, I believe so, but that is not my expertise. Probably just gets voted down by the trustees or whoever's in charge of that. Dollar General has been waiting to open there and town keeps voting them down. That's good. Dollar General, Walmart, and all the Dollar General, there's a great 60 minutes interview from them. I mean, they really choke out the mom pop places. And I know chains have been doing that for years, but they specifically are more apt to be able to do that because they're smaller mixed retail for grocery and goods. So while you might go to small town USA and it's too small for a Walmart, so they're isolated and, Doug's grocery store is still making it, Dollar General can put them out of business. I'm not anti Dollar General. They have them all over the place around here, but hey, if they can do it, so be it. That's capitalism. If people want to shop there and that's what counts, then they'll do it. But just from a non-perfect business aspect, you like to see those local places stay in business. And Dollar General definitely does damage. They are agile enough and small enough to wedge their way into the smallest towns with a small footprint. I mean, those buildings they make must cost next to nothing. They're bare bones basic. And all they need to do is get a couple of haulers in there to fill up the store, and voila, they're in business. Sagebrush in Waynesville, or one of their locations. Yes, I have seen sagebrush around. They are in buildings that look a lot like the old Ryans, I believe. I'm not sure if they were owned by the same parent company, which is sad, by the way. The family really liked Ryans. There was one here in Asheville. It's come to the pandemic. And I checked, they don't even have, it's not just the one in Asheville. There used to be like a dozen locations left in the US. They're all gone now. I don't think there's one left. There are Dollar Generals everywhere. Yes. There's a Dollar Generals and a Walgreens every corner here, it seems like. I know they build all of them around. There's something funny. My wife and I joke about it. Dollar General, there's a couple of 60 minutes, and I say 60 minutes. I don't watch 60 minutes. But I like documentaries, so it shows up on my feed on YouTube on Mr. Mountain. In fact, if you ever get like a documentary on your homepage because you're, associated with my channel, and you're like, why is this showing up? It's probably because I've thumbs upped it or something like that. But they had on, one of the things that's the knock at the Dollar General is it's attributing to bad health in the American landscape, because Dollar General sells a ton of processed food, snacks, and basically garbage. And they had their marketing representative being interviewed by the person from 60 Minutes. And she was, just legitimately in fantastic shape and, very refined businesswoman. And the interviewer, they were at a Dollar General, was like, don't you think there's some, responsibility here that the type of food you're putting out of business, the Doug's grocery store that had fresh, farm to market produce, and you're replacing it with frozen processed foods. And this lady goes, she's very, using her PR, public relations. She's like, well, if you look here in the freezer, we do offer a variety of frozen broccoli. There's a bag of frozen chicken and some rice. So you can be sensible here. It was a complete joke. Are you kidding me? That stuff, I mean, it's fun. Okay, yes, broccoli, chicken, and rice. Okay, and I eat that a lot as a bodybuilder. But I'm just saying the fact that she was pawning it off like this was some nutritious meal and they were being responsible. I mean, just call a spade and say you sell junk food. But they were doing a kind of a broad study that, you know, when you put that drugstore out, now you're buying, potato chips and white bread, and there's no vegetables or fruits or anything, and you're taking this stuff home because it's cheap and feeding the family. This was what the angle they were taking. So anyway, Dollar General is not evil or anything. It just, I mean, I shop there on occasion. My wife goes there a lot more than I do, but I do like the Dollar General market. I didn't even read that, so you need to fill me in if the Dollar General market is more fresh, because maybe after what they got hammered by by that interview, they came up with something more fresh. I miss Ryan's weekend breakfast. Yes, and somebody was just talking to me and touting on the Instagram post about Golden Corral's breakfast, which we make on occasion. I love their custom omelets. Dollar Generals are the Walmarts for towns too small for Walmart. Exactly as mentioned. Right. I notice a lot of them are outside the town corporation limits. So town votes them down, they move right outside. This is another tactic. So it's weird because you can say, are they being responsible? Are they being appropriate? But the answer is, in a free capitalistic market, absolutely they are. They're not doing anything. They're just trying to make money, and there's nothing wrong with that. But their tactics, from a broad-based, sociology observation, aren't exactly, fantastic. It would be better if some of the local towns could be preserved, but people can vote with their dollars. If they keep Doug's Market in I keep using this made up grocery, but if they keep Doug's Market in business by shopping there instead of the Dollar General, but they have a hard time competing, with that. Hardware stores are the same, by the way. There are some really great old timey, hardware stores littered throughout this state and many other states. And if the town's too small, they're not going to drop a Home Depot or a Lowe's. The cool thing about that is the only place that would be kind of, again, agile enough to compete with them would probably be the likes of an Ace Hardware. But Ace Hardware is a great place. I still liken them because a lot of them are franchise owned to still a quasi mom and pops. They're still a big public entity, but they are much more. And if you go in, the customer service is really good. So a lot of the mom and pop hardware stores are able to stick around. Move that ice cream and fake cheese to get with that broccoli. The ice cream, get to that broccoli. That's right. I've never seen a Dollar General market. Dollar General market has more offers, fresh produce, fresh meats. This is such an interesting fact. I did not know this, Rita, and I swear I wonder if it's a direct response to what they did, because I'm not saying, but that interview was impactful because they're basically saying you're going into these small towns, driving out all the fresh produce and good stuff and replacing it with this garbage. So that's pretty good if they did pivot. I mean, that shows some responsibility. But I wonder if they're only in big places like Nashville, Atlanta, Charlotte, and stuff like that. I wonder if the small towns have it. Dollar General Market opened a town near. They have produce and expanded groceries. Good. Okay. All right. We have a DG market near where we live, and they do a great job. Good. That's good. Okay. It doesn't seem to be many DG markets, but the one here is pretty nice. Hopefully they continue on that if they're going to invade these small towns. Our hometown hardware is great. The owner has been the best service. If I have problems with the house, he comes right down to his son. The only thing that I've seen that these things become obsolete is because the owner is 85 years old and, works till he can't anymore, or passes away, or the son doesn't take it over, or daughter, or whatever. But I saw this one cool place in Eastern North Carolina where the family and the daughters took it over, and they it's a super cool place. If I ever get over there, I definitely want to make a video of it. Yeah, I have to check out Dollar General Market. Just don't try using a digital coupon. When you said that, my mind is moving so fast. I'm like, yeah, right on. I got to tell him this story. And then it registered. You don't work there, do you, Mr. Carla? It wasn't you that I ran into, was it? If anybody doesn't recall, on my birthday, I went on a motorcycle ride. I stopped at an Ace Hardware because they have new older stock Craftsman lingering on the shelves, and I found a screwdriver. And I had a coupon on my app. All the Ace Hardwares around the Asheville area are more modern, and they all use the app and the cards. But this one was old school. When I showed him the phone, he's like, huh? He's like, get out of here with your cell phone. He didn't want to have anything to do with it. And I understand he probably has to submit that coupon to get a rebate, to get, back in his physical, dollars and cents into his pocket. So it probably was not advantageous. And in retrospect, I didn't give him a hard time. I was just like, okay, I started to get it very quickly. Dollar General Market has been here for several years. Ooh, Piggly Wiggly stores here. Ace Hardware has taken over shelf space and in some Piggly Wiggly stores here, Ace Hardware has taken over shelf space and put their name with Piggly Wiggly. You just combined hamburgers and French fries, peanut butter and jelly, to just two great things. I couldn't come up with enough analogies on the spot. I love Piggly Wiggly because my grandparents, in South Carolina, and I'm a fan of Ace Hardware. Those two coming together. If I had a Piggly Wiggly in town, I would give them so much business because I think it's a great place. Although the last time I went to one in Florence, South Carolina, I admittingly, it was getting a little run down. It wasn't bad. It was just an older grocery store. But having lived in the South for more than 2 decades now, I've had an experience with a lot of like Southern grocery stores like Food Lion, Harris Teeter, Piggly Wiggly, the old Bilo, now Ingles and Winn-Dixie. Did I already say Winn-Dixie? Anyway, yeah, that's really cool. Our DGM is in a small town of Carrollton, Ohio. Definitely a ding town. Lots of pizza, fast food, and auto repair businesses. Well, I'm glad they're being responsible in their business practices in a small town because, again, it probably came at the cost of some local groceries and markets. Jimmy Ray is the owner. He's old school. So the dude at Ace Hardware. Did you go in there and you'd be like, hey, there's this guy on the internet's called Mr. Mountain Man. And he was telling he couldn't use a digital coupon. Oh, yeah, I remember that guy. He came in with that motorcycle gear. And I told him to get out of here and go back to Asheville. It's funny. We have an IGA in our town. I did like that Ace Hardware, by the way. I would go back there. Because they did have a few things, old Craftsman stock. It's kind of a long store. I think they had like farm equipment outside too. Hamburgers, fries, and Craftsman tools all in one location. Mr. Man has achieved nirvana. That's right. You put it all together. Piggly Wiggly, Ace Hardware, hamburger, French fries, Craftsman. Yeah, all of it. Just all at once. I know exactly. I got to go to bed. I love you all to pieces. Thank you so much, Kentucky Girl. I'm setting a record here, and I will be wrapping up soon. It's after 11:30, but I had anticipated going a while for the finale here. And Kentucky Girl, thank you for all the times you've been here on the Mountain Man Monday live streams. I do appreciate it. I hope you've enjoyed just as much. And again, we'll cross paths in other live streams and commentary and the occasional live stream I do here. I like Piggly Wiggly, IGA, and Food Lion. I like Food Lion too. I have all their cards. Food Lion was in Florida too when I went down there, but then they went out of business. Publix was another one. Now they're a big dog down in Florida. If they had a map of Kroger and Publix, those two are kind of been in the United States have been like encroaching on each other, and now they're all kind of mixed up. And there's some Krogers in the south and some Publix getting more north. I personally like the more localized grocery store chains. Like I really like Food City. If I'm over in East Tennessee, I'm going to go to Food City. And over here in Western North Carolina, I like Ingles. It doesn't mean I don't go to Walmart. I mean, we have to shop at Walmart for a family budget and save money, and same Sam's Club and stuff. But I do often go to Ingles or yesterday I was at Food City. I stopped there on the way home. I had to get some water and some snacks for the kids and stuff when we were coming home from Tennessee. So, yeah. So yes, definitely check out Strada Italiano if you ever come to Asheville. You know what? This is another underrated thing of the Mountain Man Mondays. I have advertised and promoted so many businesses and places. Hey, at least Dollywood gave me a shout out. But it's funny how many people I've promoted and such that have no idea that I did. But anyway, it's a channel about telling all the good things. So here is the 7-day Asheville Mountains forecast. This is more consistent weather, it looks like, for spring. In fact, this weather right here, it looks very nice. I mean, we're talking highs in the mid to lower 70s and lows in the 40s to 50s. Actually, if I could take the best day out of that, I'll take a high of 72 and I'll take a low of 54, 72, 54. Those would be two good numbers. That's like, I would really enjoy that. That's like being out, being, 72 degrees is like being in a place, but you're outside at the same time. A couple comments. Food Line had to shut down for a while because of selling tainted meats. Ew, did not know that. That's not good. Kroger here and Ralph's in California, which is Kroger just with a different name. That's awesome. All right. Well, there you go. We have the news and notes for April the 11th, 2022. Here's the real banner for today. I had the finale. Mountain Man Monday live stream episode 110 for April the 11th, 2022. Anyway, all right. Guys, I think I am going to wrap it up. It's getting late. We're getting on midnight. Let me see if there's a comment here. Pick and Save here in Wisconsin and Fry's in Arizona is also like Kroger. Yeah, I'm not as familiar with what's out west. And by the way, that was an official pointing. That is west. I'm like a compass. Going west. There's a west out that way. So anyway, yeah, they're everywhere. I usually hang in the back, but I have loved these live streams and I will miss them and everyone here. Thank you, Christina. I want to send a thank you to folks like Christina that are in the background. You know, there are people that just don't want to comment and don't need to. It's never been a criteria for the live stream. Thank you for listening in. Maybe you are, working around the house, listening to the live stream on delay, the next day. A lot of times I work out in the yard and listening to podcasts and YouTube and radio and stuff like that. So a warm thank you to everybody that, I don't know your names or haven't called out your names. Really appreciate you being here as well. Thank you all for the entertaining Monday nights, Mr. Mountain Man. I'll be keeping an eye out for you on the Blue Ridge Parkway. Wish you and your family all the best. I appreciate it. And likewise to you, Mr. Carlos. Since you've been joining the live stream, it's been very nice having another perspective here from North Carolina. And really appreciate it. Give my best to all the people at Ace Hardware up in Burnsville. And for sure, you live in a beautiful area up there, or the areas that you've been to up there. It has been such a fun night. It sure kept from being so sad. We'll miss this very much. Enjoy your extra time that you will have. Absolutely, I do. And it's, again, I said it already, but I'm going to say it again. I don't take it easily, the decision to stop the live streams. It's the right thing to do, but I'm not saying that pill is an easy one to swallow, the decision to do this. But that's why I think to keep the continuity, expect an occasional live stream from me where we can keep in so that we're not all strangers and, we can keep it going. And again, Rita, you've been here since the beginning. Maybe some other people in the background have as well, but a specific, thank you to you for being here and all the kind comments, the support, and everything. It's just been a real joy. Foxy, you as well. I bow to you. Great live stream. I appreciate it. No need to bow. It's you all. I talk. I'm the narrator, but the conversation is all with all you here, and everything that you do to comment and to add to the live streams. I appreciate it. And thank you so much. Get better soon. Yes, I'm feeling it right now for speaking for almost 3 hours straight. And whatever the grunge I have is not feeling all that great. But yes, thank you for the well wishes. It's been great as usual. Miss you all, and we'll see you somewhere. Stay well and safe, everyone. Love and hugs. Thank you so much, AZ Rock. You've been here the longest time too, probably like the beginning as well. I really appreciate your support and have enjoyed hearing about your journey from out west up to the Midwest. And so just been great having you here. Ted and Deborah Harrison, been here super long as well. I appreciate the comments. Wonderful live stream. Thank you, Mr. Mountain Man, for the great time. It's been a blessing to all. Good night and take care. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I hope everyone has a wonderful week ahead, and send positive vibes to see Mr. Mountain Man on live remotes. Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much. And again, Foxy, I really appreciate having you here on the live stream, and the moderating and just the everything, and the everybody's kindness and everything. It's just been awesome. Living Like Larry's been great tonight. Your live streams are always great. Hosts and great participants. Never any problems or arguments. Always informative. I'll miss Monday nights. It's been a great ride. I appreciate it. It has been excellent. I really, really do appreciate that. Larry, it's been great ever since you've joined the live stream and the channel, and really look forward to as well the content over on your channel. I will send you an email if I get come up and want to meet you. Absolutely. It is on my channel. You have it. You can click the little button under the about. Thank you so much. Absolutely. Oh, Jerry, the cable guy, welcome and enjoyed. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Absolutely. Thank you. That was very, very kind of you to say. Thank you. Take care, Rita, Foxy, and everyone. You will all be missed. Yes, all the nice people interacting to each other. And thank you, Rita, for her early, happy Easter. A happy Easter to all of you as well. That is coming up this weekend. I appreciate it. Yes, a happy Easter. Good night, all. I'm sure we will see each other around. Have a great and safe week. Yes, absolutely. And we see how friendly everybody is. We get a new person. This just goes to show Mountain Man Monday. I mean, we get a new person, or maybe Gary, you've been here for a long time and just listening in the background, but we get a new person and everybody's so friendly. It's really cool. Just looking directly to you all, I don't want to drone on, but thank you so much. You've made this experience fantastic. When I started this channel, I had no idea where it would take me. I knew I wanted to do some hikes and some fun stuff with the mountains. I had seen what others in the YouTube community have been doing. I'd been a watcher of YouTube, for over a decade. And so I started to formulate ideas. I've enjoyed it. And this live stream format was very helpful to the channel to keep continuity when I wasn't able to produce content. And we started off with literally only 1 or 2 or 3 people joining the live stream. There were some early live streams where I started the live stream and I wouldn't have anybody for 5 to 10 minutes. Nobody would show up. You all can fact check me on that, but it was some of the early, probably in the first 10 to 15 episodes, where it'd be several minutes before I'd see anybody in the chat or any numbers show up. And we grew, and we grew to a fantastic group of folks. It is like sitting around having kind of a fireside chat, talking about really cool and fun and interesting topics. I also want to give a nod to the people that aren't able to make it because of different time zones. I know there's, I think it was Liz from England, and we've got Lily from up in the Northeast, Newfoundland, all these great folks from all around, and from here in the mountains in the greater area and the Southeast and everywhere. Again, thank you so much for everything and helping to build this channel. And, and I say that I wouldn't care if I honestly, I wouldn't care if I was still back at 200 subscribers if we had what we had on Mountain Man Monday, because this has really been the fun. So again, it's with mixed emotions that I cap this one off. We'll look forward to new content, and I'm not going anywhere. You still see a bunch of videos from me, and you'll hear this voice just in a little bit different capacity. I appreciate the understanding and everything. And anyway, so one last time here, folks. Thank you. I appreciate that. This is Mountain Man Monday live stream episode 110 and the show finale. Everyone, take care. God bless. Thank you so much. And until next time, we'll see you later.